7342. There's no place like home. Town Village Audubon Park.
Welcome to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston. Co-hosting Sports 56 Mornings is Anthony Sane. Here are Peter and Anthony with Sports 56 Mornings.
Welcome in, everybody, on my birthday edition of the program. That's right. Celebrate. Get excited, Memphis. That's the only reason you should be excited today. Forget about what happened last night. It's really more about just my birthday. I'm just going to appreciate that. Thank you so much for all the cards and letters that have come pouring in. The well wishes. I mean, it's been a mountain, honestly, and I just appreciate all of them.
That's right, man. I totally forgot today's your birthday.
So many.
Who cares?
So many.
Who cares? The Grizzlies had a great draft. I mean, shout out to you.
No, I want to say I wish I had time to thank everybody. I wish I had time to thank all the well wishers. I mean, email box, my outside my house. Just, thank you so much. That's all I can say. Just, it's really, I'm humbled and appreciative so much of all of your support. Thank you so much for all of that. And I'm sure it's coming soon. So that being said, welcome in, everybody. I'm Peter. He's Desmond Bain Sane. I mean, again, the T-shirt opportunities for you. I'm just so proud of you already. And initially,
it sounds good in theory, but
it's just
it's not.
No.
It sounds good in theory, but I mean, who's really going to buy a Desmond Bain shirt? I mean, what are we talking?
I think you have to be ahead of the curve, Sane. Just in case. Who would have bought a Duncan Robinson shirt? Who would have bought a Tyler Hero shirt? Who knows?
Facts.
I mean, you got to be ready for it. When the time comes, you got to be ready. Plus, the design, I mean, is right there.
Are you looking forward to Bain versus your hero?
Let the games begin,
Mr. Wayne. Are you ready for
Mr. Wayne?
Are you ready for this?
There's going to be so many of those. It's going to be. I prefer Desmond Maine. That's we can go with that too.
Well, I can tell you for sure, you definitely can't put that on a T-shirt.
What's up with that? Why can't you put that on a T-shirt?
Maine, as a creative property on sporting apparel, is copyrighted, and you'll get a cease and desist letter. I know the guy who owns the copyright. Of course, I know.
To Maine?
Yeah, he owns. He doesn't own the word Maine, of course, but he owns the right to use Maine on shirts, etc.
That's ridiculous.
No, it's not.
That's a ridiculous.
It's a
ridiculous
move.
thing.
It's a power move. I wish I had done it. Damn it! I could have been a million.
It's not. No, it's not. No, that's a ridiculous copyright claim.
You a hater sound like to me.
Yep, I am. There's a lot of those ridiculous copyright claims. This isn't the new world. You don't get to just plant your flag in just some concept.
Oh, yeah, he literally Christopher Columbus that joint too. So, but
I hate that
true.
Stuff. Hate it. So anyway, we will talk about Desmond Bain. We'll talk about the rest of the Grizzlies. Very busy as we expected. I kind of was telling you, take the over on the draft, man. On the trades. The Grizzlies always manage to do some stuff. They've got a knack for doing things. Maybe not big things, but certainly a lot of things. We're going to talk about what they ended up with today on the show. John Gassaway is going to join us at 8 o'clock to talk college hoops, and also got to give us a thought on some of the guys that were drafted, because many of the guys that were drafted by the Grizzlies were, like extensive college players. They've got some resumes. John will certainly be able to give us a good scouting report on all of them coming up. Also, 9 o'clock, Justin Starr is going to join us. We'll talk a little squared circle with him and see how things are going as he's got his new baby, just 9 days old. So we'll talk to Dustin about how life with another kid is going early on. We'll do all of that thanks to our friends at Family Leisure, who are proud sponsors of our studio. Family Leisure, where family and fun come together. 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. You can still get your Sports 56 masks, although they are in short supply. Go get them while you can. They are available for you. I know you were having some trouble getting one, Saints. I know they're out there, but they're not just.
Sports 56 mask.
Uh-huh.
I got plenty of them joints now.
Oh, you finally got the hookup?
I got about 5 or 6 of them.
You can't sell those.
Man, why you trying to make me like I'm some kind of petty criminal or something, man? Like I'm some kind of street hustler, man. Don't do me like that, man. I'm just going off like you went off of me the other day when we was talking about when I said you enjoy talking about COVID.
What are you talking about?
I just feel like going, I got some stuff to go off on you about too. Though.
Oh, come on.
But I love being right. I love it.
It is fun.
I can eat the R. I can eat the R. Right. Eat the
right as ribs. Right as ribs. Let's go. So all of that, of course, is coming your way here from the Family Leisure Studios. We are all also brought to you by the great providence and skill of our friend Zach Boyd.
Yes, sir.
Who is our producer. Zach, good morning. How are you? How are things?
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Okay. Zach's all business today. All right.
Yeah, I'm a little sleepy this morning.
Yeah, that draft took us out, man. I was up to like 1 a.m. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah,
so
me too.
It's rough on the kids.
Welcome.
Then I woke up in the middle of the night and saw we signed all kind of other dudes, and
yeah.
I'm like, then I'm watching their little highlight videos, and I'm like, man, I'm not going to bed at all tonight. I don't think.
Yeah, I think
no.
I think I stayed up till the first undrafted free agent signing for the Grizzlies, and then after that, I kind of went to bed.
Yeah, I mean, the Grizzlies were very, very busy, and ended the night with a whole bunch of
activity.
Certainly a lot of activity for sure. Yeah. We'll talk about the top of the draft, and we'll talk about what the Grizzlies were up to, because they ended up with doing exactly what you would have thought, which is to say, they were able to kind of have the draft fall to them.
Mm-hmm.
They were looking for shooting, as they always are, and they were looking for a wing. There were plenty of interesting options there, but honestly, a guy that I never even really thought, it's a little bit like last year, where I didn't think Brandon Clark would fall to the Grizzlies last year, so I didn't even really think about what that would be like, because I just didn't think that would happen. There's no, in the pre-draft that we talked to a lot of different people last year, and I forget who it was last year at the very end. I had talked to, I think it was my guy Cole Zwicker, and we said, well, and Cole's now working for an NBA team, so I hope to kind of put him in that position too.
What team is he working for?
I'm not sure he wants that out there.
Because it's a rumor. People think that Cole Zwicker secretly works for the Grizzlies, right? That's a real thing.
I know.
So if you work for the Grizzlies, just say we'll talk about out there.
I can't speak again. I can't speak for anything like that. I just know that Cole's my guy from way back.
So, he actually does work for an NBA team.
I can't. Again, I can. You can. I think it's fair to say that there's a reason why his stuff is no longer public. Yes, I'll put it that way. Hey, he's very mum about this stuff, so I'm trying to respect my guys. Trying to respect his hustle here.
We got to talk.
We were talking about the whole situation, and we didn't even consider the idea of Brandon Clark dropping to the Grizzlies. It was like one of those things that we threw out there, that would be amazing, obviously, but it's not going to happen. And then, lo and behold, the draft kind of goes the way it goes, and all of a sudden he's still on the board, and Grizzlies jump up a couple spots to snatch him. Same thing here. I didn't even think that Desmond Bane, because of his what he brings to the table. The only negative about him, we'll get that out of the way, is that he's just got no wingspan at all. He's got negative
wingspan. Like they showed a picture of his bust, and his hands were in the picture.
Yeah,
it was like a waistline picture, and his hands were in the picture. Like, man, that dude's got some big arms.
Yeah, his arms are up here. He has literally no arms. Yeah. It's crazy. His hands just stick straight out of his shoulder.
His arms kind of remind me of my app I had, where I had the baby that was developing, and you saw the little arms coming out. Like that's kind of how his arms look.
I miss that.
But they're a little swole, little muscle bound, little short arms, though, man.
Oh, he's built like
he's jacked.
Like an NFL player. I mean, he's built like a running back. But anyway, so he's tall. He's 6'6", but he's just got like a 6'5" wingspan. But other than that, that's the negative. Everything else is phenomenal. is everything that you want. Like the guy can shoot the with the urine out of the ball.
You can shoot the skin off of that word we can't say on the radio.
That's exactly.
That's
right,
what we're saying. That's what we say in the hood, Peter. We say we can shoot the skin off that.
I like the coaching.
He's peeling that word you can't say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like the word you sort of almost can say, which Rick Carlisle said last night at his press conference, which is that he shoots the pee out of the ball. I always enjoy that. I always enjoy that particular analogy as well. He can do that. This guy's a 44% shooter on volume. But the biggest thing, the big headline for me, saying because they got Desmond Bane, which I didn't think they do. They jump up. They trade 2 future second-round picks, which is fine, to jump up to get their guy at the end of the first round. Then they make another move with the 40th and a little something extra to jump up to 35 to go get Xavier Tillman from Michigan State, who is Jaren Jackson's boy. I mean, truly, Jaren Jackson was in his wedding. Tillman's already married with 2 kids.
Man, man looks like a grown-ass man.
He is a grown-up. I mean, like, he looks like a grown-up. He is a grown-up.
Yeah, man.
He is way more grown than many of our listeners who are 30 years older than him. He is way more grown than you are. He's more grown than I am, I feel like. This guy is an adult. And Jaren was in his wedding. Jaren is, was constantly FaceTiming him and, Instagram story, IG stories, all that stuff. He was always – IG Live, doing that stuff and after games and before, like he's very, very close with this guy. Played alongside of him a little bit, but their games complement each other. So then you can go and get him.
You know what I'm thinking?
And he fits what you're doing. I mean, that's just easy enough. Then you go and get Brandon Clark's boy, Killian Tilly, former teammate of his at Gonzaga.
Killian Tilly.
A 6'10" guy who, again, can also shoot the urination out of the ball. Another 44% three-point shooter, but he's got super length and a good relocation and all that stuff. They go get him as an undrafted free agent and sign him to a 2-way contract. They also signed Sean McDermott out of Butler to a 2-way contract, which means if you're doing math, you can have 2-ways, which means that the current holders of those 2-ways, Yuta Watanabe and John Conchar, are no longer in those spots, which
unfortunate.
Which tells you Yuta's almost certainly gone. And then unless they sign him to like a hustle contract or something, I don't know. But he's certainly gone. And then Conchar, I think they're going to want to sign. They'd have to sign him to a main contract, which they well may do. But they did tender his qualifying offer, so he's a restricted free agent. So they have interest in him. But the 2-ways are taken up. And then Jaleel Tripp, they sign a really tough-minded kid from Pacific. And I have to think that his coach, former Grizzly player coach, former Tiger assistant coach, Damon Stoudemire, had something to do with it. Now, Damon was the Pacific, was the Big West Coach of the Year at Pacific. Tripp was the Big West Defensive Player of the Year. And he's a guy that rebounds the heck out of the ball and is a tenacious dude. Like, he's just a double tough guy. And they're all the Grizzlies type, Anthony's saying. The Grizzlies have a type. And that was my headline from last night. That's the thing that, like, to me stood out more than anything else, is that for all the years we talked about Spurs culture and Heat culture and all this stuff, the Grizzlies have a culture.
Yeah, they're creating a culture.
They have an idea what they want to do. They are cultivating it. They're bringing in people that all of these guys all have these things in common. They all meet these certain criteria of what the kind of thing that they're looking for as a player and as a human being, not just as a player but as a person. They're trying to raise the level of competitiveness. They're trying to raise the level of toughness. They're trying to raise the level of IQ in general. All those things, those guys all fit that perfectly. So to me, it was a fantastic draft night as far as I was concerned, Anthony. Sam, what'd you think?
Yeah, I was in love with it, man. I went to bed super enthused about everything I was seeing. I had a question about. I'm gonna tell you what I look at, what I see. Okay. Still trying to wake up, brother. Wait, work with me, deal with me. You're gonna be okay. I'll be all right, 9:45. I'll be ready. No, but seriously, this is the biggest take I took out of it, and I hope the fans saw this as well. the Grizzlies were way ahead of schedule last season. And they set the foundation of saying that, yes, we have a solid foundation in Ja Jaren. You can throw Brandon Clark in there. You can, whatever you're doing. You have a solid team that was able to compete when they weren't supposed to be competing last year. But I hope that people still understand that we are in that culture building stage still. We're currently in the second year of a complete rebuild. They're still in talent acquiring mode. And I see people say, I wish we had taken this guy because we needed this. We actually needed everything, you know what I mean? Because there's nothing set in stone about this roster. The Grizzlies are in the place where they need to. They're getting the type of guys they like, and they're acquiring talent, whether it be developmental talent or guys they think they could be ready to play now. But they're getting guys that fit what they're trying to do, and they have, like you said, they have a clear goal of the type of guys they want. And I'm excited about it. And I look at a guy like Tillman. I'm not gonna act like I paid attention to college basketball too much at all last year. But when I look at a guy like Tillman, when I started looking into it, asking people, calling people, watching my videos, reading up on guys, he seems like a guy who could be a small ball 5 in the NBA as well. I know he played the 4 in college, but I was like, okay, if this guy's that type of defender, he could possibly be a guy down the line who could be, your starting 5 with Jaren or with Brandon or whatever you're doing. And I like it because I know at one time I had heard the Grizzlies had interest in what's the guy he got a comp to yesterday too. Plays for the Clippers. Montrezl Harrell. He got some. I know the Grizzlies had interest in him as being a guy that you could play alongside Jaren at the 5. And I'm like, okay, if this Tillman guy, you're talking about people saying he's the best defender in college basketball. He's an elite level rebounder, and you know that both Jaren and Brandon aren't good rebounders. If you get a guy like that, and he can mess around and be your long-term answer at the 5, and whenever you do with JV or whatever, or he's a backup that you can close games with, because we all know that they had struggles closing games with JV. But if you can have a closing game lineup where Tillman's out there, and Jaren and BC all at the same time, I like what they're doing, man. And then you got a legit shooter, like the best shooter in the draft plays for the Grizzlies. Like, when have we been able to say that?
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. That may be debatable, depending on who you talk to. He's a really good shooter. Some would say Aaron Nesmith from Vanderbilt's a better shooter.
Oh yeah, he can shoot it.
Some would say. I mean, there's 2 or 3 guys, but he's in that discussion.
But Nesmith had an injury.
He's in that discussion.
Ain't something going on with his foot or something? Who,
Nesmith?
Yeah,
I think he's okay. He's good.
I thought I heard something about him. Anyway, but yeah,
it's not like it's any kind of a
career-ending crap.
But I mean I agree with you. Like the thing is that they are opportunistic and they are, and I'm glad that you mentioned that, because they are in. It's not I wouldn't call it rebuild or anything like that at this point. They kind of know what they're building.
Right.
So a lot of times when you're in that rebuild mode, like
you're just kind of doing stuff.
You're just grabbing stuff and just sort of figuring out what. Like you're building Legos, you're just grabbing like lots of boxes and lots of different Legos.
And whatever you stack up,
build something. Yeah, they're past that. They know what they're going to build. They got the instructions, and now they're trying to find specific pieces that fit what they're trying to build. And they kind of took a step in that direction with this draft, and you could see that those guys could potentially be those pieces.
Right.
The big thing there that they are all really smart. All these people, all these guys are all smart.
High IQ guys, high integrity,
basketball
high
smarts,
guys. Yep.
and basketball smarts and non-basketball smarts. The only question to me is, when will Desmond Bane become the new DB, the real DB? Like, you're going to have a DB. You're going to have a DB face-off.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
They're very similar players.
Yep.
I will tell you, except that now
Bane is a
Desmond
legit
Bane
shooter.
is a legit shooter, and he's a tough guy and all that.
Wingspan, all that.
Is
same
he,
height?
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I think this could be an interesting challenge situation. I can't believe you drafted
another DB.
Similar.
I'm glad I got that trademarked. We're talking about.
He has nothing on me.
Got the main shirts.
I'm the real.
I got DB.
You got Bane voice versus. You can't intimidate me. I'm the real DB. Mr. Brooks.
See, now I got to Photoshop like Dylan in the cow and then have.
Yeah, Bane. That's right. The battle for DB. Who's the real DB? They're very similar.
Right.
Very similar, like measurables. All that stuff's very. So And you can make a case that the best version of Desmond Bain will, eclipse the existing DB. But obviously, you got a long way to go before you get to the best version of that guy. The same thing with Xavier Tillman. Now, where we have to think about next, we'll give you some kind of a quicker look at each of these guys that the Grizzlies have acquired and what their roles are going to be when we come back, but also what it means for free agency and for roster construction, because
still got to put a roster together.
Tomorrow, you can start, talking and doing free. I mean, everyone's doing it anyway, but you can start tomorrow doing all that stuff, and you'll start to hear about things happening tomorrow. So that's going to happen, and then 10 days later, you're in training camp. So it's all happening very quickly. My God! So we're going to talk about where these guys fit and what does it mean for the rest of the roster, and what does it mean for the Grizzlies going forward, because the numbers, you start crunching the numbers on this roster and you got too many guys. So something's going to have to change as a result of all of this. We'll talk about that when we continue here in the Family Leisure Studios on my birthday. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, 98.5.
Memphis Tiger fans, catch the Blue and Gray Show with John Stacey and Drew Barrett, Sunday nights from 5 till 7, right here on Sports 56, 98.5, and 96.1.
I know the sweetest thing in Memphis, and I know it's been around for 115 years. I'm talking about Dinstall's, and it's time to stock up heavy on Cashew Crunch, Heavenly Crunch, Turtlettes, all of your favorite Dinstall's treats. So easy to get. The sweetest thing in Memphis, all you have to do is head to Laurelwood or head to Germantown and Poplar right across from the hospital, or go where they make the candies. That's on Pleasant View. There's nothing that says Memphis better than Cashew Crunch with that little tinge of coconut, or the Turtlettes. Let's face it, there's nothing better than Dinstall's chocolate. That's the mainstay of all candies, isn't it? Milk chocolate, although their dark chocolate is pretty darn good. And if you get the peppermint with the dark chocolate and put it in the freezer, you're going to love it. So many ways to love Dinstall's. Stock up heavy on all of your favorite Dinstall's treats. 115 years of making Memphis oh so sweet. The folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai want to say thank you. Thank you, Memphis, for another spectacular year. They set records, but I can understand why. You think about the product. Where else do you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty? That's what you get on every new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Oh, and thank you again for the 11th straight year, the #1 certified pre-owned car dealership in all of Memphis. It starts with that product, but then it goes to the shopper assurance. Where else do you go where you get transparent pricing, flexible test drive, take the car for a couple of days if you want, streamlined buying process? You're not going to be there all day, in and out. And then, and I have not seen this anywhere else, the 3-day worry-free exchange. You buy a new car, if you've got any buyer's remorse, you've got 3 days to change your mind. Just get on Lamar, take it into Mississippi, the first exit's Craft Road, turn left, and go see Chris True and all the gang at Homer Skelton Hyundai.
Swing into Edwin Watts Golf Shops this holiday season for the hottest gifts from TaylorMade. The Sim Shape and Motion series featuring the Sim, Sim Max, and Sim Max D-type families. Find increased speed and distance with Sim. And be sure to stock up and save on TaylorMade TP5 and TP5X golf balls, now only $39.99. Come into Edwin Watts Golf Shops and get custom fit today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, your holiday headquarters since 1968, and shop online at worldwidegolfshops.com.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Chris Price here for Brian Elder Roofing. The storms we've had over the past several months have been devastating to our communities. The rainy season is ahead. You may have not even noticed the dripping in your attic, water stains throughout your home, or even worse, mold and mildew. Please call Brian Elder Roofing and we will send out our project managers to assess any damage. We will not try to sell you a roof if all you need is a repair. We will measure your roof from outer space. 0% for 60 months, even no payments till 2022 are available with approved credit. If you've noticed missing shingles, water stains, leaks in your roof, call us before you call your insurance company at 867-0303. That's 867-0303, and we will provide a free, thorough inspection of your roof's condition.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
friends, all aboard to A&J Catfish Station's newest location in Millington at 7838 Church Street. A&J Catfish Station has delicious, light-battered farm-raised catfish and mouth-watering big fried shrimp. Try the popular blackened catfish or fresh fried filet and whole channel catfish. Then there's mouth-watering mac and cheese, homemade tartar sauce, great burgers and fries, and fresh vegetables. Got a sweet tooth? Enjoy A&J's Peach Cobbler, voted #1 in Memphis. A&J Catfish Station, now with a new location in Millington at 7838 Church Street.
Sports 56 traffic.
Still working a crash on Walnut Grove at Farm Road. Also have a medical emergency on Cordova Road at Germantown Parkway. And also the right shoulder is blocked on I-40 westbound at Sycamore View. And that is your Sports 56 traffic update.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston.
Yes, I will be good, I promise.
Co-hosting Sports 56 Mornings is Anthony Sane.
That's great, man.
Now, back to Peter and Anthony.
Under the rain, songs open, fire, fire, fire. Ain't nothing new. We all have desires.
I got the odds today.
What? Oh, it's your birthday. That's
Yep.
right. My
That's
boy.
right.
41.
That's right.
Hey, bro, I'm going to mask up the rest of the show. I can't.
Just
It's a day of celebration.
You got to.
It's a day of celebration, man.
You got to.
Y'all can hear me good? I can't talk anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Wait. Turn that up a little bit. This is a good part right here. I like it. Yeah.
Go ahead and sing it. Sing it.
Wait.
Oh! It's like you couldn't have.
This is a good album. If you haven't checked out the Black Pumas, man, those are my guys. They're good, really good. Really good.
I own a pair of Black
Austin.
Pumas.
Yeah. No, that's great. Great to listen to. Great to wear. Welcome back as we continue here. The Family Leisure Studios. Fantastic stuff. We're all kind of delirious this morning because everyone's up late. You know, Zach Kleiman did his press conference at well after midnight, about 12:10 or so.
I wasn't there. You were there?
I was there. Yeah. Asked a question and everything.
There was an interesting question that came out yesterday that I'd like to pat myself on the back for as well.
Okay. Pat away. You want to pat now or pat later?
Hey, I can pat myself all day long, Peter. You better tell me when to stop because I'll rub myself raw.
I think Jeffrey Tubin got himself in trouble with that one, so you got to be careful. Don't. It's a time and a place to pat yourself. That's all.
I'll rub myself raw, man. You better tell me when to stop patting myself, man.
Yeah. Don't say that. Listen,
Yeah,
As long as the Zoom camera's not there, then you're good to go.
Shout out to my buddy and friend, Chris Harrington.
Yeah. Okay.
For breaking Grizz news that Justice Winslow more than likely won't be available for the beginning of the season, and Jaren Jackson Jr. won't be as well. Since I heard that, man. Since I heard another guy that's kind of on his stuff that said that they predicted those guys won't be available. Whether it be conveniently or actually. So. Look, I don't know. I don't know why you say that. It doesn't make any sense. It should be fine. I don't have any indication that they're not going to. Why would you say that? You remember that? Zach?
Let me see.
No. What make you think, Jaren? I'm sure they'll be fine. No one I talked to said that. I had someone tell me that the Grizzlies were trading the Utah pick for Desmond Bain, so he didn't tell me that. So, hey, who told you that, bro? Who told you? Who told you that, Peter?
It's my birthday. Why are you doing it?
I know it, man, but no, we doing this, man.
Why are you going in on me? There's no
I'm just saying, man. Peter, my friend. Then I'm piggybacking off of Peter. Oh man, but if Desmond Bain, if he's a guy who's got the capability to be a starting shooting guard, top tier shooter, who cares about the Utah pick? All because of according to my calculations.
The reason that it all kind of happened the way it did is because the thought was that there was only one pick involved. That from Boston's side, the thought was that there was only one pick. So if there's only one pick, then you can't. It's not going to be a second-round pick. So it has to be a first. And if it's a first, it has to be. It's not going to be the Grizzlies first. So logically, you sort of read the tea leaves and figure out, okay, well, what is it going to be? If it's only going to be one pick, it's got to be a weirdly protected. Like I figured, my guess was that it would have had to have been like the Utah pick that was protected down, and it probably would have ended up as 2 seconds anyway. But it would have had like some kind of janky, like, because you can now protect other teams' picks and stuff. So it probably would have had some weird, insane thing going. And it turns out that it's just 2 seconds. So that works out fine.
So we're going to talk about Jaren and Justice later on.
What do you want? You already glowed? What do you want? You want to glow some more?
My back just itching, man. Hold on. There it is. Woo. Man, I feel better.
Okay.
Hey, I told you, Summer 16 saying coming back, man. The one that when I say something going to happen and it happen, all you going to hear about it. That's Summer 16 saying. He's back.
Hey, man, listen.
Peter, you do this to me every day, though, man.
I give you credit. Hey, I'm giving you credit.
Luka Doncic could score 20 tonight. And, don't you remember saying that Luka's going to be terrible? Don't you remember that?
I let that go a long time ago.
No, you didn't. Yeah, actually, you do kind of protect me in that area, man. I
do.
No, you didn't, because you busted me out yesterday on it.
No, you busted yourself out.
It's all good, brother. I ain't mad at you.
Yeah, you busted yourself out. We all make mistakes.
We do.
We all are right on stuff, and we all are wrong on stuff. And we try to forget the stuff we're wrong on, and we never forget the stuff we're right on. That's how it is. I never move on from the stuff we're right on.
With that being said, man, let's just move on. Happy birthday to your brother. Let me get some of them passwords you got access to.
That's my gift to you. My gift to you on my birthday. Oh man, and you know what? My computer just completely crashed last night. Right after the Grizzlies, all that draft, all that stuff. I don't even know what's going on with this thing over here. And that's not the way I want to start my birthday. 1 a.m. trying to figure out what's wrong with the computer that's like our main computer in the house. It's got all our stuff and everything. That's not a good way. I don't recommend it for your birthday. So anyway, you were right to bring up the possibility that Jaren and Justice Winslow both are going to be somewhat delayed. Jaren more than Justice to start the season. That was something that Zach Kleiman talked about last night. In addition to that. The Grizzlies are going to be, because of their organizational thought process, all these young guys coming in, they got a very young team in general. They're thinking long term. They're not thinking short term. So the logic would make sense for them, knowing the season is starting earlier than they probably thought. You may not see, Jaren for a while. You maybe Justice. I think they'll try to work in, because I think he needs to play. He needs to get in the mix. But I think they obviously know what they've got in Jaren. And this year, I mean, it's a 72-game season. You have clearly teams in the West that are pushing really hard. The Suns pushing really hard. The Warriors yesterday. What happens with the Warriors now that the news that Klay Thompson has suffered some kind of heel injury? Some say Achilles. Then, Woj yesterday said, well, it maybe not as bad as people thought. Could be an extensive injury either way. That changes what they look like. They still were probably a playoff team if everyone else is healthy, but they might not be the elite team that they were. The Kings are doing some good stuff. The Blazers are still – so, you got all these teams that are right there in the mix. Grizzlies, it might not be the worst idea, especially with a draft that's pretty good, just to kind of take a powder this year, work on development, not push too hard for the playoffs, and then kind of go on about your business.
Ooh, I hope that went wrong. No, that was just me knowing I already said that a few weeks ago. Ooh. It's getting crucial out here, man. Every time you cough, you think you might got COVID.
Yeah. So is that what you think is going to happen?
Yeah. They're going to have a convenient slow start. A developmental slow start.
I mean, you might as well. The other thing that's happened in the last couple of weeks that pushes you in that direction to some extent is the fact that they have the two-way players that can now play basically the entire season. Pretty much. I mean, there's not really any kind of limitation on that anymore. So now you've got two-way guys.
Pulled in.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Those guys are like roster guys now.
Yeah, those guys are roster guys.
They're not
basically.
under really a contract.
Right.
Ooh.
Exactly. So that's why you sign two-way guys like they put extra emphasis, especially on Killian Tilly, because he's going to be a two-way guy, but this year because you have Jaren's injury and you have the COVID situation, you're going to have guys that are going to miss and all that. He's going to play. He'll play minutes, like he'll play real minutes. Yeah. McDermott, I don't know he'll play quite as much, but I'm sure he'll play some. But Killian Tilly's going to play. Like he'll play as long as he's healthy. The thing with him is that he had a bunch of nagging injuries as a collegian. Nothing major, but again, lots of little stuff like that. So if he's healthy, he's definitely better value than undrafted. That's for sure. Mm-hmm. He was probably a late first, kind of early second value proposition. Between him, Bain, Tillman, and then the other two guys who are probably more flyers than anything else, you could see what they're trying to do. And this year, there was a pretty hot debate, and we talked about it as you mentioned, but we've talked about it before in even a different context. Even for the Grizzlies, like if everyone's healthy and they really put everybody out there, they might still miss the playoffs just because there's a lot of competitive teams in the West. Even if they really tried their absolute hardest, they still could easily miss the playoffs as a result of what happened in the West. And look at next year's draft. It's not the worst idea to miss the playoffs.
I'm looking at it.
Mm-hmm. It's not the worst idea to miss the playoffs.
Yep.
So, for whatever it's worth, I realize that it's hard to be patient as a fan base. You don't want to keep kind of just not, seeing like tangible results on the court. But, I mean, if you're playing the long game the way they are, man, they're setting themselves up for some good opportunities.
Yeah, I love what the Grizzlies are doing. Texters text in saying, question for the experts, with the advent of super teams, what is the incentive of the Grizzlies to aspire at all when it appears that it's going to be a Lakers versus Brooklyn for the foreseeable future? Disclaimer, I'm just following the story. I think an easy answer to that is you plan for what's happening after the foreseeable future. That's what, all these teams that we're talking about are guys that either in the middle of their prime or approaching the end of their prime. So you plan a team with the Grizzlies that's, once your young guys hit their prime, they're next up and they're ready to compete on that level. That's why I'm not really in a hurry to do much of anything with the Grizzlies. I love the way that they're making smart moves. They're not mortgaging their future. They're not trading future first-round picks away, because our first-round picks all could have really good value. The Utah pick, the Warriors pick, and our personal picks could all have good value. So I like what they're doing. And something else that the Grizzlies have, a lot of teams, because everyone's praising the Thunder, which is fine, that they're acquiring all these first-round picks and whatever. But something the Grizzlies have that the Thunder don't is 2 to 3 like legit guys you can build around. The Thunder don't have that at all. and that's easier. That's easier said than done as far as acquiring those type of guys. Because if you don't have those guys yet, and you just have a ton of picks, especially the picks are going to be like in the late first round, and it don't matter nothing. I mean, that's fine that you got all these picks to show off, but I mean, props to what the Thunder are doing, because first round draft picks have value, but only if you use them well, and only if you're nailing guys. And the Grizzlies they've done the hard part. They've got guys you can build around, so that's something definitely to be excited about.
Well, I saw a guy. I forget who it was, but who he said, he was like, well, congratulations to Sam Presti for acquiring, however many first-round picks he's acquired over the last few years. They now have a 4% chance to create a core that they had 8 years ago.
Exactly.
In KD, Russ, and James Harden.
Right.
Like, I mean, it's you already had it. It's very difficult. It's very easy to get all those picks.
Right.
Well, it's very easy, but like it's good to get all those picks. Like it's a
you rather have them than not have them.
But you got to do something with them.
What can you do with them? Because you can only draft so many guys in a year. You can
only draft so many guys. You gotta move, that's why I'm good with what they did, because they took the Pokusevski kid. Like that's to me is the biggest swing in the draft. Is just he could be fantastic or he could be absolutely horrible. Like, okay, well, you got plenty of picks. Just take a shot at him. Why not? There's no harm in doing that. That's what you're supposed to do when you're in their position. But yeah, you have to actually do something with those picks. And the Grizzlies, I think, have walked a pretty fine line so far of kind of everything's done with a purpose. You can pretty well see what the purpose is behind everything that they're doing thus far. I don't think they're really trying to. I don't think they're trying to be too slick. Like they're everything's just pretty much like, yep, this is the kind of guy we want. We're going to go find the guy we want. This is the sort of player we're looking for. Hey, you fit that role. You want to come play? Okay, great. Let's make it happen.
And they seem to have a clear pecking order. They seem to have a clear draft board. And they seem to value guys. And it seems like they're going by their board. If they had a guy high and he's falling, they chase after the guys that they had in priority. Because a lot of people are kind of simplifying the Tillman thing is, oh, that's Jaren's friend. No, they clearly saw a value in him and clearly had him highly ranked on their board. It's more than just, oh, he's friends with Jaren. I mean, he actually fits into what they're trying to do going forward. So, like you said, everything seems calculated, everything seems planned, everything seems to fit.
Now the question then becomes, how much? And this is what I asked Zach Kleiman last night. How much can you read into free agency from what the Grizzlies did during the draft? Mm-hmm. Because if I were to kind of play it forward a little bit, I would assume that Xavier Tillman, it's probably you could assume Josh Jackson's gone.
Oh yeah, for sure. Shout out.
You can then assume,
R.I.P.
You can assume he's gone at this point. I think the moves also with Bane, the one thing with Bane is it really does provide them a lot of insurance on DeAnthony Melton.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to be inclined to match anything that they don't want to match.
Mm-hmm.
If a deal comes, it's structured weird, it's a little more money, whatever. They're not bringing him back. I'm not foreclosing on the idea of them bringing him back, in general, but they now have plenty of leverage to just kind of do what they need to do on that, because Bane can do a lot of the things that you want DeAnthony Melton to do, except he can shoot it. Now, he's not defensively, Melton is a special player, but Bane can handle the ball. He can pass it. He can certainly shoot it. So a lot of those things that you want to do, he's got. So you got some insurance there. I think that certainly helps him. And Tillman, same thing. I think that probably is not a good sign for Jonte Porter because his contract is not guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably not a good sign for him, to be honest with you. It's definitely not a good sign for Yuta. It's definitely a tough sign for Marko Guduric, who I have just kind of assumed that they're going to cut to kind of ease the roster burden. But I think you can kind of start to make some of those assumptions about how they're going to make this roster work.
Yeah, I was thinking about the whole Porter thing as well. What would they end up doing with him? I've got to actually look at the roster numbers and see what they're going to do. It may come down to maybe Conchar versus Porter. You think? Do you think that's what it comes down to?
Yeah, and I think they'd go with Conchar.
You think they'd go with Conchar over Porter?
Jonte, yeah.
Well, I joked about Porter as far as being a bad luck charm on the team because it seems like we just fell apart. We hadn't won. I don't think we won. We went on a nice little streak of losing games after we signed him. That went into the bubble actually. So I think he's fine. But as far as Tilly, may be a guy who probably does a lot of things that he does, but even more. So I wouldn't feel terrible about them losing him. But we'll see, man. Like I said, they're still developing. They're still trying to see what guys do. And something I like about the Grizzlies, it doesn't like you commented about this, and I like it as well. I like that the Thunder, with the wealth of picks they have, they're just swinging for the fences. But it doesn't seem like the Grizzlies are swinging for the fences. It seems like they're getting guys that they know this guy has a definite NBA skill, and that's something I'm a big fan of. I don't like drafting guys who can do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Then you get him out there and he's not NBA good at any of those things. Like that's something that we've seen the Grizzlies try a lot. They get guys who were, watered down versions of some star or lesser version. I don't like those type of guys. Like the guy that we took for the Sacramento. That's why I'm not really feeling him, because I think if that guy really was that guy, he wouldn't be going at 40. You know what I mean? If he's a guy that can really do everything on the court, he would have went much higher than that. I don't like watered down versions of good players, because they come to the NBA and they're not able to do much of anything. And something else I'll throw out to you, not comparing skill-wise, but kind of skill-wise except for the shooting part. But Desmond Bain kind of reminds me of the Malcolm Brogdon situation, where it's a guy who he can play, he has NBA skill, but because of some of the physical things about him, whether it be his wingspan or athleticism and those type of things, I think he's one of those type of guys that should have been a no-brainer. They should have went much higher in the draft. And I'm just glad the Grizzlies had the assets and the ability to go get him, because I think he's going to be. I think he can be good.
And again, it's just like if you want to learn a lesson from last year, Brandon Clark. Everybody said, just like short. If you watch him, he could play, but it's like, arms too short. He drops. It turns out like he's a first team all rookie, like one of the 2 or 3 best rookies in the class. Don't overthink this stuff. If you if you think a guy can play, you see what he can do, go take him.
Yep.
Just don't overthink this stuff. We'll come back. I'll get some of your texts as well. You can chime in on the First Bank text line, First Bank phone line as well, 360-8255. Talking last night's draft and a very productive night for the Grizzlies. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 98.5, 96.1.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ. Listen to us daily on AM 560, 98.5 FM, and 96.1 FM.
Looking for a new ride to celebrate the end of 2020? We Gossett at Gossett Kia's holiday sales event. Command the season and you'll find what you want, need, and love at Gossett Kia on Covington Pike. 2020 Kia Forte, $133 a month lease. 2021 Kia Soul, $148 a month lease. Plus 2021 Kia K5, $189 per month lease. All 36 months, $31.49 due at signing. And don't miss 2020 Kia K900. We Gossett at $10,000 off MSRP. You want it? We Gossett at Gossett Kia 1900 Covington Pike, or shop 24/7 KiaCovingtonPike.com. Ask for Bobby J. He'll put you in a new Kia today.
All 36 month leases, $31.49 due at signing. 0 security deposit, 10,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, $650 acquisition fee. Forte LE 242,174, MSRP 20,505. Sold M7755 682, MSRP 20,315. K5 MG 003,199, MSRP 25,725. K900 MSRP 65,610. L60 26,907. L60 21,220. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax on license with approved credit offer valid through 11/30/2020. Dealer stock only. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details.
What can help you take advantage of today's low mortgage rates and save money? Rocket can. You could save hundreds of dollars every month by refinancing with Rocket Mortgage at today's near historic low rates. If your current rate is over 4%, with today's low rates, you could lower your payment by over $150 a month, saving thousands in interest every year. With a cash-out refinance from Rocket Mortgage, you could consolidate and pay off high-interest debt, tackle home improvements that could add value to your home, or even set aside cash for your child's future education. We've already helped over 1 million clients just like you reach their home financing goals this year alone. So remember this: what can give you the technology to refinance easily and save money? Rocket can. Call us today at 8338-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com. That's 8338-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Savings are based on quick loans, internal data. Points and fees may apply. Offer cost information and conditions. Equal housing letter. License in all 50 states. NMLS Consumer Access.org. Number 3030.
Farmers Insurance knows that there's a not-so-subtle difference between the sound of a car hitting your rear bumper and the sound of a clown car hitting your rear bumper.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Sorry about that.
We call that a three-ring fender bender, and we covered it. Talk to a farmer's agent.
They know a thing or two because they've seen a thing or two.
Call Chad Gatlin at 901-235-1176 or get a fast quote at memphisfarmers.com.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Hey, sports fans, you already know about the great steaks at the Butcher Shop Steakhouse, a Memphis tradition since 1981. They specialize in hand-cut aged beef right over that hickory charcoal. But did you know the Butcher Shop also has great seafood items, from fresh Atlantic salmon with dill sauce, pan-seared red snapper with sautéed shrimp and Cajun cream sauce, Canadian cold water lobster tails, crab stuffed shrimp, homemade lump crab cakes, and a whole lot more. Oh, and don't forget the Fresh Burger Fridays for only $8.95. Come in, enjoy a fantastic dinner at the Butcher Shop. If you need a great private party, the Butcher Shop is your place. 6 different private rooms, seating from 12 to 250, all equipped with audio-visual. Rehearsals, business dinners, lunch, and weddings. You call the Butcher Shop at 901-757-4244. Or you can visit the website at butchershop.com. Just drop in, 107 South Germantown Parkway.
Buy your next car or truck at Streamline Auto Smart. Your next smart decision. All credit welcome. Drive off in your new low-mileage pre-owned car or truck. From low-end cars to the most luxurious sports car. Ask about the 48-hour vehicle locator. Let Streamline Auto Smart do the looking for you. Close your deal within 1 hour. No waiting. It's quick and easy at Streamline Auto Smart. Your next smart decision. 2558 Mount Moriah. Call Streamline Auto Smart 901-235-8845. Your next smart decision.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston.
Yes, I will be good. I promise.
Co-hosting Sports 56 Mornings is Anthony Sane.
That's great, man.
Now, back to Peter and Anthony.
Pulling out the coupe at the lot, told him 12 swat, busting all the bells out the box. I just hit a lick with the box, had to put the stick in the box. Pour up the whole damn seal, I'ma get lazy. I got the mojo deals, we been trapping like the 80s. She said the so got a cash out. Told them wipe a no, say slash. I won't never.
Yeah, welcome back.
Hey.
And I can back that. And I really wanna know.
Guess what text I got from Joy? Well, you got a text from Joy this morning too.
Yeah. Oh.
Joy sent you a happy birthday.
I appreciate that, Joy.
I got a text from Joy the other day too. Joy sent me that bank account info.
Really?
Send me that routing number and the account number, G. Don't get it twisted though. It's a whole other situation we talking about.
Oh boy, oh boy.
We passed some cash app days, homie.
Full on, huh?
Oh yeah, she want that direct deposit. She don't want that
the whole thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
she just want that whole check coming, you know.
Okay. All right. I mean, yeah.
Hey, don't get it twisted.
Yeah,
though.
you know,
Don't
once you
jump
start getting
to
the cat,
conclusions.
you get through.
We ain't talking about the situation like in that song now, but just know.
Yeah. So that certainly is a situation.
But you know, she get my whole check or whatever. But you know, she'll break me off a little allowance or whatever. You know, $4 for this, $4 for that.
I think it's you're a wise man to let her just.
Oh yeah,
kind of do that.
I'm not the finances managing guy.
No.
I became
She's
one
the
out of
numbers.
necessity since I've been single. But hey, trust me.
She's the numbers. She's the numbers person.
I'm letting the numbers person run the numbers. Yeah, I'm not gonna be the guy.
You
Man,
let her run the numbers.
I gotta have my money. No, I'm gonna let her manage my money for me. Like, I'm down for that.
Yeah, you do need to be on allowance. I think that's exactly right.
Yeah, just give me maybe a little $40 dude. You know, when I run out of 40, shoot me another 40. You know, just do it like that.
Can it give me? Come on, can I buy a video game? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
exactly. Well, you know the game costs 70, Joy. So can I get 80 this time?
Can I get 80?
No.
Did you not factor in tax? Oh, okay.
All right. Yeah.
All right. So we talked about Desmond Bain, Xavier Tillman. It's not actually. I don't think it's actually official yet. There's so many trades, so many moves and stuff that the league office has to clear through all of the stuff before the Grizzlies can officially comment. So last night, for example, Zach Kleiman during the press conference couldn't actually say anything about any of the players specifically because they weren't technically Grizzlies yet. The trades had not been consummated, the various trades that they made. So, I will be interested to see the official designations on all this stuff when it's all said and done, and to kind of take a look, get all the pieces together and see what it looks like long term for the Grizzlies. But you know, by and large, it certainly made sense for them to give up what they gave up in the process. It is, if you want, you've been, and I listen, I respect it. You've been gloating today. I
love it, man.
As you should.
I love this front office, man. I can't believe I'm saying this.
But I would say what those of us who've been having, issues or whatever with the front office of the team for, 15, 20 years, whatever, in various forms, what I think we were asking for is what this front office now is finally doing, this new group, which is it's got to all make sense, all of it. It makes sense, the coach that they picked makes sense with the roster that they've put together, which means the drafts that they're doing make sense, which means the personnel moves make sense, which means the free agency stuff makes sense. All of it makes sense together. And that's really what I was asking for from the very beginning is is it all logical? Is it all going to make sense? Does it all work together? For the longest time, it feels like You had moves that were being made by some folks in the front office who didn't agree with other folks in the front office, who the coach, Lionel Hollins had a very obvious rift with the front office, and then the ownership changed and all that. It's just stuff. It's always stuff. And there's no stuff anymore. Like, it's just a direct line from the owner straight down to the bench. And, like, everybody is in lockstep, and they all have the same vision, which makes it a lot easier.
Yep. It's beautiful, man.
Just been asking for it, That's what the good. If you want to know what makes a good organization, how you can build culture the way the Heat have built culture, the way the Spurs have built culture, the way whoever the best teams have done it. That's how they've done it.
Without a doubt.
And you see the other teams that are trying to kind of take shortcuts and all that. It doesn't work. And it certainly won't work for the Grizzlies. So they are in good shape. We're going to talk to John Gasaway coming up after the break about some of these guys because he, as I said, is a college basketball guru, a maven, not the maven of clean shaven, but a maven nonetheless. He's going to give us some of his thoughts on some of these players and what they'll bring to the table at the NBA level. So we'll do that next. Hour number 2 on the way from the Family Leisure Studios. Peter and Sam with you. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, 98.5.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Westies, the old North End Pinch District, a great Memphis tradition. Come hungry for home cooking, literally over 200 items ranging from fried green tomatoes, spinach artichoke dip, hot tamales, chili, chicken and dumplings, incredible moist and crispy chicken tenders, shrimp creole, jambalaya, gator gumbo, ribeye that includes salad and baked potato for only $23.95, smoked wet rib slabs including slaw and beans, french fries or tater tots around $24, or just a great cheeseburger and fries or tater tots for only $8.95. Come by or call for downtown delivery 543-2GO. Then top it off with Jake's original hot fudge pie. Written up as Memphis Best. Westies at 346 North Main Street. Open daily 11A to 2A. Good friends, neighborhood favorite, Westies. Westies regulars understand Westies, the North End, and we have the doors you're looking for. Check them out, westiesmemphis.com. Westies at the North End. Memphis Best.
When you are in need of quality jeans, shirts, and boots, think Frontier Western Store in Olive Branch. Frontier has thousands of square feet of merchandise at everyday low prices. Tons of jeans by Carhartt, Wrangler, and Ariat. Whether you're after classic denim jeans, dungarees, or work pants, you'll find it among Frontier's amazing selection of stylish modern fits. Flame-retardant jeans and shirts now available as well. Colder weather is on the way and Frontier is prepared with overalls, coats, and fleece jackets. Hundreds of jackets and coats in stock by Ariat. Inventory may be scarce this year, so come in today to grab yours while it's in stock. Don't forget the boots. Frontier boasts dozens and dozens of styles of boots. Work, dress, or play, come try on all the latest boot trends, as well as proven classics, Ariat, Durango, Dan Post, and many, many more. You are guaranteed to find your next favorite pair at Frontier. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, or shop online 24/7 at frontierwesternstore.com. Family owned and operated since 1967.
Ryan Radke from Westwood One with a Thursday Night Football preview sponsored by Prilosec. Treat your frequent heartburn with Prilosec OTC. NFC West action from Seattle to start Week 11 when the Seahawks host the Cardinals. Both teams are 6-3, but Arizona is undefeated in the division, including a Week 7 overtime win against the Seahawks. Seattle head coach Pete Carroll says the team is anxious to get past their current 2-game slide.
I really believe we have plenty of time to get this thing going. We've got a lot of football ahead. We're bouncing right back here on Thursday. We got to come right back against the Cardinals. They're doing great, and it's going to be a difficult challenge for us. But it's the challenge that we need. It's right there in the division, right where you need it. You need to get this win and get going and go to the next game.
Super Bowl winning coach Mike Holmgren will join me in the booth for the Cardinals at the Seahawks on Thursday Night Football.
Remember to listen to Westwood One's coverage of the NFL all season long. Right here on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Hey, frequent heartburn may keep you from running your A game, but it doesn't have to anymore. Join the Prilosec OTC 2-week challenge. Just go to prilosecotc.com. You'll get $3 off to get you started, plus 14 days of tips, tricks, and reminders. Just 2 weeks, zero heartburn. Go to prilosecotc.com and sign up today. Zero heartburn is possible with Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
Don't miss Lowe's Provember event, because this month we're saying thanks to our pros in a big way. We have deals on go-to brands like DeWalt, Spyder, and Metabo HPT. During Provember, now through November 25th, you can buy one DeWalt 20-volt Max XR Power Detect tool and get one Bear tool free. We also have credit options to help keep your business moving. Shop in store or at lowesforpros.com/Provember. Lowe's, the new home for pros. Offer valid 10/29 through 11/25. See store for details while supplies last. U.S. only.
I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses will buy a house in any area, in any condition, and yes, it's guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your home quickly, call 901-406-1101. If you've been through a divorce, if you lost your job, if you're tired of renters, I Buy Houses can get you your money quickly. I Buy Houses will buy your home in Shelby County, DeSoto County, Memphis, Bartlett, South Haven, Horn Lake, Olive Branch, anywhere and everywhere in between in any condition. And yes, they're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that pen, 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses.
All 75 months at 2.99 Mirage, LHO 10130, MSRP 16565, G4, LHF 12118, MSRP 17435, Outlander LZO 38819, MSRP 381, Outlander PEV qualifies for a 5,836 federal tax credit. Consult your tax advisor. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax filing license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 11/30/2020. Dealer stock only.
The 2020 year-end sales event is on at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. 2020 Mitsubishi Mirage. Buy for $11,100 or $99 a month. 43 MPG Highway. A Mirage you can't miss with 2020 G4, 41 MPG Highway, $139 a month, or buy for $12,435. Plus, crossover with 4x4 off-road capabilities with 74 MPG. 2020 Mitsubishi Outlander plug-in hybrid EV, $27,838 or $359 per month. And 10 years of confidence with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Get to Gossett Mitsubishi today, 1870 Covington Pike, or shop online at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, W253DF Memphis, and WIVG Tunica Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Sports 56 traffic.
Still working a crash on Walnut Grove at Farm Road. Also, we have a medical emergency on Cordova Road at Germantown Parkway. Right shoulder is blocked on I-40 westbound at Sycamore View. Have a crash on I-240 westbound at Perkins. And also a new accident on crash on Lamar Avenue at Davison Road. And that is your Sports 56 traffic update.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston.
Yes, I will be good, I promise.
Co-hosting Sports 56 Mornings is Anthony Sane.
That's great, man.
Now, back to Peter and Anthony.
I was a highwayman. Along the coach roads I did ride, with sword and pistol by my side.
Yeah, I got the odds today.
Maid lost her marbles to my trade.
We're just rolling through a few of my. I got my mega playlist that when I just feel like hitting shuffle and just hitting some of my stuff. I'm just picking some things from my mega shuffle list. So this is one of my favorites. I love this song. Fantastic. The Highwaymen. Fantastic. Welcome back. It is hour number 2. We're here in the Family Leisure Studios. Pete and Sane with you. Zach on the ones and twos. I appreciate you, Zach. We have much to discuss. We obviously talked a lot of NBA draft from last night. College basketball season is rapidly upon us in one form or another. And there are many, many questions about how that's going to play out, what's going to look like, who's going to be able to play, where they're going to play, all that stuff. There's just a million different things to discuss, and we're going to do that with our friend John Gassaway, ESPN Plus, who joins us now at John Gassaway on Twitter. Good morning, John. How are you?
Good morning, Peter. Are you wearing a pointy hat right now?
I am not. I'm hatless because my head is so big. It's very hard for me to wear hats in general, John.
Yeah, because I understand it's your birthday.
It is my birthday. Yes, it is. Thank
and I
you.
know that
I should be.
I
should be.
A week ago, in what some would call a rather pathetic and needy moment, you told me it was going to be your birthday. So.
Well, you have once
birthday.
again you are an astute identifier of things, because that is correct. It was pathetic.
I've got just a gift for you. It's a book. It's a history of Catholic college basketball. You'll get the gift in March. Yeah,
I look forward to it. I look forward to it. I'm excited about reading it. I know you've been working quite hard on that thing, and so you've also been trying to figure out, like all of us, so what this college basketball season is going to look like. So before we talk about that, let's take a look at the seasons past and see if we can get your analytical eye upon the players that the Grizzlies have taken in the draft, because it certainly appears as though they have a specific sort of type that they're looking for. Let's start with Desmond Bane from TCU, who the Grizzlies traded up to get at the end of the first round with the 30th overall pick.
I like the young lad. He's actually pretty young, even though he played 4 seasons. He just turned 22, so he's a shade more youthful than you might expect for a guy who has been around the college game. Obviously a pure shooter. His percentage actually went up last year, even though the line got moved back. So, a high volume of accuracy too. So, no worries about 3-point range in the NBA with this young man. Definitely can stretch the defense. I'll be watching to see what he can add and who he guards on defense, but he's got the size and he's got the shooting range. He's your pretty standard NBA profile guy. Good pick. The only other thing I would add is he's got good numbers, and he's getting that done at TCU within an offense that didn't have a lot of options not named Desmond Bane. So more power to him.
Yeah, I think that's a good point to me. When you watch Bane, I mean, some people, like if you want the particularly analytically inclined folks who are particularly oriented and with certain measurables, a negative wingspan is not a good thing for a guy like that. But if you look at some of the numbers on the surface, you say, his field goal percentage, he shot 50% for each of his first 3 years, and then last year it drops to 45% from the field. While his three-point shooting went up and his attempts went way up last year. But as you point out, and I think you have to put that stuff in context, John, the role that he played was significantly different last year than in his previous seasons. And I think the previous season's stuff is much more reflective of what he would be doing for the Grizzlies. Yeah. He's not going to be carrying the load for the Grizzlies.
Right, exactly. No, he at TCU he had to be the workhorse, and he's that's going to come at the cost of some efficiency. In the NBA, he's not going to be LeBron. He's just he'll spot up, and when he's left open, he'll hit that three. So good. I see a positive future for the young man. Good pick.
John, when you look at his stats throughout his career, you're looking at a guy who was shooting 6.5 threes per game in college basketball. He started off only shooting 2 per game as a freshman. Do you think that you think he can, like you said, his role is definitely going to change when it comes to the NBA. He's not going to be a guy who's going to be carrying the workload. So with that being said, do you think he could get more attempts, better looks? Could you see his percentage even going higher than it was at around 43% for his career in college?
Yeah, famous last words here, but 3-point shooting is one of the trustiest things to translate from college to pro. I mean, if you can do it, you can do it. And when we get to speaking of some other players that went at the top of the draft, it's always kind of a warning light to hear. Well, he needs to work on his 3-point shooting. Well, players are working on their 3-point shooting, all the time, and if it works out, then they're showing that in the games. Bane is a good 3-point shooter. He has been for a while. As you say correctly, his volume has gone up, and again, his accuracy went up last year, even though it was a more challenging line. So. Little or no hesitation about saying he'll be able to, shoot at the next level. The questions are, what else can he do, and will that enable him to get the playing time? But he can definitely get the ball in the basket. We know that.
He played a bunch. He was on the floor pretty much all the time for TCU over the last 2 seasons. And I think also a good rebounder for his position, good passer for his position too. Which
thank you. Yeah, his assists went up considerably last year, so he does have that. Good point.
He's a good. Just kind of the Grizzlies type has been over the last couple of years. It seems simple enough, but it really isn't. Just guys that can play, and there's another example of that as they move up to 35. To get Michigan State's Xavier Tillman as the Michigan State to Memphis pipeline continues to broaden and deepen, going back to Zach Randolph and Jaren Jackson Jr. And we forget about Deontay Davis. We're not going to talk about Deontay Davis, but we'll just kind of that never happened. I don't remember that at all. So we'll just kind of excise that from the history books. But here comes another one, and I remember the last Michigan State big at 35 that was taken. With some questions about his size and all that. It turned out to be a Draymond Green. So I assume this is going to be Draymond Green 2.0?
Man, that is a lot to saddle the young man with. Another Draymond. The first step in being the next Draymond Green is Xavier Tillman has to memorize every player taken ahead of him in the draft. I love how Green does that. I mean, that guy had a chip on his shoulder the size of a boulder, and it worked for him. So, more power to Draymond. But I like Xavier. In fact, one might volunteer. He might even project as a better prospect than Bane. He's maybe slightly undersized for a big, but he's ready to go now on both sides of the ball, and that's not something you can necessarily say about a lot of draft picks. But I mean, he's a brute on defense, and he's good offensive. He's not polished in a finished product the same level as an Obi Toppin, but in terms of what he brings on both offense and defense, he's arguably more complete than competing guys like Toppin or Precious Achiuwa. Tillman brings it on both sides of the ball, and I like this pick as well.
John, when you look at a guy like Tillman, with the skill set that he has, especially defensively, when you see things like what Houston did in the playoffs, look at guys like Bam Adebayo, do you think that he's a guy that could be a starting level center in the NBA, or do you think he's a guy who's always going to be a forward? What do you think his long-term position can be in the NBA?
Yeah, I mean, that will depend on what the Grizzlies or whomever he's with in the future needs, and who the most talented player in the front court is, and then Tillman will slot in next to that need. But he's got the ability. I don't want to compare him to Draymond, although Tillman is a bruiser and is tough and competitive on defense. He's skilled. His assists went way up last year. He's definitely capable on the defensive glass, and he is able to get his shot at 6'8" and make wise choices, such that he's making 61% of his twos. So I mean, he knows what he's doing. Whether a 3-point shot will arrive, that's a question mark. If it doesn't, then that will determine part of his fate right there. But in terms of everything else, good shot blocker. Stays out of foul trouble. There's a lot to like there from a guy who is at this point 21 years old.
Well, and on top of that, as we talked about earlier in the show, John, he is more of a grown up than I am at the age of 21.
Oh, yeah?
He's married, 2 kids, which I'm also married with 2 kids, but he's 20 years younger than I am. Whereas that going for him, he is. And Jaren Jackson Jr. was in his wedding, so and they are tight. So you can just add that to the mix of like why you would want to bring that guy into your locker room. And by all accounts, he is like mature, well beyond anything that you would expect from a 21-year-old. So that's the sort of player that the Grizzlies are looking for, like grown-ups. They want grown-ups. Like let's come in here and you're going to be a professional. Let's do your thing. A guy that's already married with 2 kids and doing all that. I think that's big steps toward being a grown-up because it took me a lot longer than 21 to be I'm not sure. It's arguable whether I am a grown-up at this point, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I would not have been draft ready at 21 in terms of maturity, athletic ability, any other way. There's probably a reason why I was not an NBA draft pick. I don't think I think that evaluation was correct. But
and you've had the chip on your shoulder ever since, John. And I appreciate
that's right.
That,
I remember every player taken in front of me ever since I was 21, and I'm going to prove him wrong. Yeah, but no, you're right. Tillman is a solid citizen. The players that come out of the Izzo factory tend to perform to a type, and Tillman is very much in that tradition. It'll just be a matter of if he can find the right role, if there's a need for somebody who can play lockdown defense and block shots and do wise distributing of the ball, he's got a chance to shine.
Our pal John Gasaway joining us to talk a little college hoops and also to give us a bonus edition here of a little scouting report on the Grizzlies acquisitions. They also picked up Killian Tilly as a 2-way player, a 4-year player from Gonzaga. And he's the kind of the former teammate of Brandon Clark. That's kind of a similar thing to Tillman and Jaren Jackson Jr. On top of that, Tilly, John, as you well know, having watched him for his career, he's had injury issues. That's a concern. Several injury problems here and there cost him much of his junior season, but. And some of the senior season as well. But he's a career 44% 3-point shooter at 6'10", pick and pop threat, big time, has got a little bounce, got a nice little floater to his game. If he's healthy, John, I think as a flyer, as a guy, as a 2-way player, a very interesting acquisition.
Yeah, there's nothing not to like about, a guy of his size who can always knock down the threes. It's kind of a paradox because statistically you say, well, yeah, he's accurate on his threes, but look at that low volume. Well, the volume is low because he's always injured. So
exactly right.
So yeah. So the food is terrible in such small portions. I mean, so we don't. It's a good move by the Grizzlies to give this guy a shot, give him a look. If he does get healthy, then you've got a 6'10" guy who makes threes. Let's see what we've got here. We don't know, and that's the beauty of the undrafted. It's obviously. Not obviously, but I mean, you can make a case that it's far preferable to not be drafted than to go in the second round, and there's all kinds of examples of that working out, and Killian Tilly could be one of those in the future.
It's why you sometimes wonder, especially after you get past I don't know, you get into the 40s, you wonder why certain players aren't picked. A lot of times it's just because their agents and representatives are talking to various teams, and they would rather go in as an undrafted free agent and negotiate a contract and do whatever, rather than have to be saddled in at the as a second rounder and have certain limitations about what they can do. So there's some wheeling dealing that's part of that too. I don't think that the draft board is reflective always of the value.
Right, and should we have a second round? I mean, just floating that out there. I mean, it's getting to the point where players prefer to be undrafted, and the list of undrafted players this year was really robust. I mean,
it's phenomenal. Yeah.
You've got a solid section of the first team All-American, and Miles Powell and Marcus Howard, Devin Dotson, Tilly, of course. Peter, our friend, that you and I like, Nate Hinton, undrafted.
Nate Hinton, went to the Mavericks.
Tyshawn Alexander, a lot of quality, and those guys aren't all going to make a go of it, but multiple players from that group will catch on in the NBA do fine. So it's an interesting dynamic.
So now, as we get to this year and we start talking about what's going to happen, the big news of college basketball this year is that the bubble seems to be in effect for the NCAA tournament. There will be no regional sites. It's all going to be in the Indianapolis area, whether it's some games at the Gamble, some games at the IUPUI, some games at the Fieldhouse, wherever it may be. We can't be surprised by this, John. Does this seal the idea that, basically come hell or high water, we're going to see an NCAA tournament?
Yeah, and I am, I'm on the record as I will, personally do whatever it takes, or I will support any plan that gets us to a, full 68-team bracket. So if that means it has to be in one site, that's fine. I don't really care where that site is. Indianapolis, that's great. If it's someplace else, that's great. But the size of the bracket is the thing. The traditional tournament is the thing. And if we can do it safely and not get anybody exposed to any danger health-wise, if we can do it, then I'm in favor. And, the one site plan seems to be the best bet at doing that. There was a general assumption before the announcement that this was probably the way it was going to have to happen, and I'm encouraged. I would love to see a 68-team tournament in March, and if it turns out that they have to push it back in time a month or two, I would even be willing to look at that just so that we can get to a full-size bracket, because it's just such a jewel as a sporting event. There's nothing else quite like the possibility that a UMBC can beat a Virginia. I don't know what else to compare that to, and it's worth making a lot of logistical sacrifices if we can get to that point.
I think that's we will see, and I guess when we speak next, and obviously we won't talk next week because of Thanksgiving, but when we speak next, we'll find out. We'll either have a fair bit of college basketball under our belt, or we'll have a significant amount of delays and issues to talk about, John. One way or the other, it'll be very newsworthy. Have a great Thanksgiving. Either way, be safe, enjoy yourself, and we'll talk to you again in a couple weeks.
Thank you. Happy birthday.
Thank you so much.
Who else?
I appreciate that.
Anybody else there in the studio have a birthday coming up that I should know about? What's the birthday situation?
Well, you missed mine, man. It was
Saints
you
was
came like the
Anthony's
week after
was,
mine.
Yeah,
mine was November
very
3rd.
recently.
Yeah,
okay, well, happy birthday. Yeah.
And mine is in March. So we
got
got plenty of time.
Oh, we'll be in prime time then. Okay. Yeah.
College basketball.
That's John's. I mean, that's when it's going to be beautiful at that point. So yes, thank you, John. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you reaching out for my needs as well. You could tell I needed to hear that, and I appreciate that you did that. Thank you very much.
Happy birthday, Peter. Talk to you all in 2 weeks.
All right, brother.
John is a good talker and a good listener, which I appreciate.
Oh, yeah. Good to have a guy like that can talk about, the draft picks we just pulled in. So, yeah, it was good.
Oh, he's
good
the best. He's the best. When we come back, we'll look at the rest of what happened last night. There were certainly a lot of notable moves that were made. Some of the good, some of the bad, some of the teams you like, some of the teams you didn't like. We'll discuss that. Also, your text at 67129, 67129 from the Family Leisure Studios. Pete and Sane with you. Stick around.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio. We are Sports 56, 98.5, and 96.1.
James Davis is one of those stores that just says Memphis. It's an original. The finest men's clothing in Memphis can be found in the Laurelwood Shopping Center at James Davis. Let's start with the Stance Custom Fitting System. This is relatively new. You can only find it at James Davis Men's Store, and it's where you walk through the door. You're going to take 3 quick measurements, about 15 seconds, and then about a week later, you're going to get the perfect fitting shirt. I mean, in the neck where you can tie your ties comfortably, all kinds of colors, all kinds of fabrics. The same thing with pants. A couple of measurements. A week later, you've got a perfect fitting in the waist, in the leg, pair of pants that makes you feel good. And they still have the great Paul Battenley suit deal. 2 for $7.95. You look great on Zoom calls. Sweaters and pullovers, perfect for eating outside. The best place to go for men's clothing in Memphis. It's simple. James Davis Men's Store in the Laurelwood Shopping Center.
Hi, I'm Tito Beveridge, founder and master distiller at Tito's Handmade Vodka. In 1997, I started the first micro distillery in the state of Texas with my dog, Dog Joe, at my side. We're still working with dogs out at the distillery after all these years. Learn more about how dogs are a part of life here at Tito's Handmade Vodka at vodkafordogpeople.com. Tito's Handmade Vodka is made from corn and naturally gluten-free. Cheers. 80 proof Tito's Handmade Vodka, distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. Tito'sVodka.com.
O'Reilly. Ready for an oil change? O'Reilly Auto Parts has everything you need. Our professional parts people can suggest the best products for your car and budget, like 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil, just $28.95. Plus, earn a $10 gift card after mail-in rebate and double O Rewards points. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The Black Friday sales event is on at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on Covington Pike, and we're going to blow you away with what you save. 2020 Jeep Renegade Latitude 4-wheel drive IAHS top safety pick. We Gossett at $20,736 or $259 a month. Or power up your game in a 2020 Dodge Charger, $24,320 or $299 a month. And get rammed up in a 2020 Ram 1500 Tradesman Crew Cab 4x2, $29,656 or $396 a month. And 2020 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo 4x2, $29,878 or $398 a month. Drive past the rest. Come to the best. Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat 1901 Covington Pike. Online, GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
All must finance through Chrysler, 3,500 cash down, 75 months at 4.11 APR. Renegade, LPM 02132, MSRP 26,580. Charger, LH 167,053, MSRP 31,490. Tradesman, LG 293,29, MSRP 37,855. Cherokee, LC 403,192, MSRP 35,495. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695. Excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 11/30/2020 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Hey friends, all aboard to A&J Catfish Station's newest location in Millington at 7838 Church Street. A&J Catfish Station has delicious light battered farm-raised catfish and mouth-watering big fried shrimp. Try the popular blackened catfish or fresh fried filet and whole channel catfish. Then there's mouth-watering mac and cheese, homemade tartar sauce, great burgers and fries, and fresh vegetables. Got a sweet tooth? Enjoy A&J's Peach Cobbler, voted #1 in Memphis. A&J Catfish Station, now the new location in Millington at 7838 Church Street.
Sports 56 traffic.
Still working a crash on Walnut Grove at Farm Road. Also, we have a medical emergency at Cordova Road at Germantown Parkway. Also, right shoulder is blocked on I-40 westbound at Sycamore View. Crash on I-240 at Perkins Avenue. And also, we have 2 separate crashes on Lamar Avenue. That's Lamar at Davidson Road and Lamar at Goodman Road. So keep all of that in mind. And that's your Sports 56 traffic update.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston.
Yes, I will be good. I promise.
Co-hosting Sports 56 Mornings is Anthony Sane.
That's great, man.
Now, back to Peter and Anthony.
In the backseat of a caddy, chop it up with do or die. Do you want to ride? In the backseat
May have to ride the levels on this a little bit. I think there's a clean version of this one, so. No, you can go up a little bit. It's not. I think it's only until like the second or third verse when it gets real bad. Yeah.
Just do it, man. It's the day of celebration.
Oh, this takes me back. This takes me back right here. All right, so we're talking NBA draft from last night. We talked Grizzlies. If you did not see, and most of you were probably not up late to understand what the Grizzlies did in full. They picked Desmond Bane at 30, moved up, traded 2 future second-round picks to the Celtics to get the 30th pick, which they used on Desmond Bane out of TCU. 35, they took Xavier Tillman. They moved up with the 40 and a future second. Moved up from 40 to go get 35 and Xavier Tillman from Michigan State. Killian Tilly from Gonzaga. They brought him in as a two-way player. They also signed Sean McDermott, not the Bills coach, but a player from Butler, and then Jaleel Tripp from Pacific as an Exhibit 10 player, which means he's sort of a preferred camp invitee that they plan on keeping around as a member of the hustle. Yeah, that's usually the path for those types of guys. So that's what the Grizzlies did, saying we've talked about that both of us generally feel quite good about the way that they did it. Who else did you like last night in the draft with Anthony Edwards going number 1 overall in spite of the fact that he doesn't appear to actually enjoy playing basketball?
Yeah, that was a guy, he was talking about his thoughts of the draft, and he said, I like Edwards, I like his ability, I like his mentality. I was like, his mentality? Like, what are you talking about, man? Like, what are you talking about, bro? But I kind of like some of the things Philly did. They addressed some of the shooting. They got a lot of talent. Daryl Morey, your boy, came in, and, he's putting his fingerprint on the team. And I like some of the things
they cleaned up the books a lot, man. They cleaned up the books big time.
Yeah, they were able to kind of get some of the tools they need on their team. I like what they did. The Thunder, of course, just gained more and more assets. The Thunder, they just make the draft exciting, man. That they're getting all those different first-round picks. You want to see what they do in the future. You know they're not going to draft those guys. They're going to be trading those picks out to acquire more assets. But it's just it's funny. One of my friends in the group chat is like, so it looks like the Thunder are gearing up those assets to make that move towards KD, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook.
That's exactly right. Yep.
You know what I mean? So yeah, but it was a fun draft, man. Like, Boston did some things out there, head scratching, of course. Another thing that was entertaining about the draft is that there were jokes about, people were saying Isaiah Joe got a promise from Philly, and he got it. It was just late in the second, late in the second round. Yeah. Like he can't say they lied to him. So yeah, Isaiah Joe, that whole situation was funny, but it was good, man. It was a pretty good draft. I liked it for a lot of teams, including myself, including the Grizzlies.
Yeah, give me Detroit. Like the fact that they started off the night with one first round pick, got in the trade with the Houston Rockets to get another first round pick and taking on Ariza's contract, and then doing a three-team trade with the Nets and the Clippers to get their first-round pick to go get Sadiq Bey, another, shooter forward that can play multiple positions. I think what Peter said before, we won't know how these players are going to turn out in the next couple of years or so, but it's just the fact that the teams and just shout out to Troy Weaver and the Pistons just going out there and getting their guy and making sure that you go and get your guy, because you don't know how these players are going to turn out. So I feel like Detroit need to get some credit for that.
Yeah, I love the Onyeka Okongwu pick from the Atlanta at 6. I think that's a good value pick. He's the best big in the draft. So that's a pretty strong pick at 6. And shout out to Nigeria. Eight players with Nigerian ancestry taken in the first round, including Desmond Bain.
Really?
Yep. Shout out Nigeria.
A light-skinned Nigerian, Desmond Bain.
Hakeem Olajuwon is smiling somewhere right now with seeing the Nigerian connection in the NBA. What did you think? Last night was really like okay. So the draft production itself, the actual show, because of COVID and all the restrictions and everything else, they all had to kind of be in the studio, and then all the draftees were in their various homes. Not a lot of masks in the homes, a lot of people. A little that made me a little nervous, but hopefully everyone's done some testing or whatever. In those various get-togethers that we saw. A couple things stood out to me though, guys, and one thing that I don't know. I don't know if it was the fact that they were at home, surrounded by their loved ones. Mm-hmm. Whether it was the fact that it's just been an emotional time for everybody. It's been a very stressful, difficult, hard year. People, everyone has probably known several people that have gotten COVID. You've probably known people that have battled hard, maybe died. You've had upended, marriages, weddings, funerals. There's just a tremendous amount of emotion that's just kind of out there right now. Stress. Maybe that contributed to it. But everyone was emotional, man. I mean, the tears were flowing and the emotions were raw. And I thought it was there were some really special, beautiful moments. I thought ESPN laid it on a little thick with all the stories about death and bad stuff. And I mean, my God, let's, I don't think we need to bring up every, horrible thing that's happened to these guys when they're drafted. But it was just beautiful to see some of these guys with their family, parents, grandparents, loved ones, man. Just I thought that was really cool. Like I actually liked that trade-off more than I thought I would.
I like that as well, seeing the guys in their home element. You know what I mean? And you can just imagine, because if they're at the draft thing, it's probably loud there. They can't really have those conversations. But I'm just sure it's more of an intimate situation, like you said, having it actually with your family in that household situation. So I'm sure that's a great feeling. And something I thought about as far as the emotional part. Not only did you have the COVID stress just as in general, but you had COVID stress involving their career, because these guys stopped playing basketball a long time ago. Stopped playing basketball back in March, and they've been worrying and stressing and just getting to see that there actually will be a season next year and there actually is a draft. And the anxiety of that is longer because it's been so long since they actually ended their season, and then the way they had to go about workouts and interviews or whatever they were doing it was such a delay than what these guys are normally used to. So I think that led to the emotions as well. And I think it was good. I liked the presentation of it. I thought I didn't really know what it was going to look like, but the way they did it was great. It was almost an instant reaction that you were getting from guys as far as what they're, getting the reaction with their family. So I liked it. It's shout out to the NBA for that.
I thought it was really, and then some of the funniest things imaginable. Now, last night when Isaac Okoro was taken at number 5, ESPN went to Bruce Pearl, who appeared to be on the side of a road in the middle of absolutely nowhere on a circa 1998 Zach Morris special cell phone that was about 2G and streamed at 3 frames per second. And he's out here. It's blurry. He's in the mist. It's dark. You can't see anything. It looks like he's on a reality show or something, talking about Isaac Okoro. And then they go to Cal after Kentucky guys, Emmanuel Quickley and those guys were taken. And Cal is in his stuff is shot in 35 millimeter film.
Right.
Like it is crystal clear. Right. I mean, the difference in the two could not be more clear. Bruce Pearl.
Cal's gonna flex, man. Cal, it
was an incredible. He's got Steven Spielberg, directing his stuff, and Bruce Pearl's out here holding a Motorola Razr in the middle of the woods. What is going on?
That was pretty crazy. I mean, Bruce Pearl's also the dude that came into a Tennessee women's game butt naked wearing orange. So I mean,
yeah. That's it's a good point.
Why are we expecting to see something different?
Why is that a thing?
And he's looking like it looks like he's got a wounded deer or something in the background. He's going to put away the rest. He's going to put away as soon as the recording goes on.
He's hunting out here.
Right.
He's in a deer stand in the middle of nowhere, Alabama.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
All right, guys.
And
this deer
Cal was
about to get away.
impeccably dressed and like yes. And Cal Bruce Pearl's like, all right guys, I gotta go skin this deer or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And meanwhile Cal's like using this as an infomercial. It's like, now Kentucky is the place for you to go. Now here's the thing: these kids all get it, and I can bring you there.
It's like,
La Familia is like and Bruce Pearl is just out here like, all right guys, let me hey, hang on, give me another beer. Hold on one second, let me go. All right, yeah, we're good.
You talking about coach speak at his finest from Coach Cal, man. If you come
He's
here, you're
salesman,
betting
man.
on yourself. If you come here, you're betting on yourself.
Now I'm gonna say this. I
don't hate him. That's what you're supposed to do.
I had something going on where I missed a lot of the beginning of the draft. I was keeping up with it, but I literally couldn't watch it. So I was away from home, so I couldn't take care of my business. But I missed a lot of it. I didn't see a lot of interaction with the guys who were guests of the guys that are guests of the draftees that are guys of note. Like Penny was with James Wiseman. I don't understand why they didn't.
I believe you mean Penny.
Penny. Like I didn't hear anything from Penny once. Once Wiseman. I thought you would have. You know what I mean? Like he's literally there in the room with him. You know what I mean? So I thought some of those type of things might have happened. But other than that, presentation-wise,
Greg Anthony. You didn't hear from Greg Anthony.
Yeah, Greg Anthony was
next
like
to Cole Anthony. Yeah, Spike Lee was in the house.
Yeah,
for some reason.
It just seems like if you got those type of guys on the screen, you'll get something.
Well, they didn't have them mic'd up. I mean, they didn't have mics. I don't know. It was weird. Like the Cal, they had him all set up and ready to roll. And for some reason, in the Wiseman situation, like Penny didn't have a mic.
I wondered, is that fall on Penny though? I wondered, could Penny have done more to say, hey, I'm going to be here with James.
I would assume so.
Put the mic on your boy.
I would assume so. I don't know why they wouldn't.
Because I'm sure there are certain guys, they set them like a kit. Like, here's lighting. We're going to mail lighting out to your house. We'll fly a guy in to set up. I'm sure they did all that. Like, they kind of set them up more for a TV presentation for certain picks. I don't think they just said, okay, live from your mama's living room. I mean, you know what I mean? I'm sure some of it was set up or whatever. Did you see that your boy was at Mike Conley's dad's place or whatever? Isaiah, it was Isaiah Joe, huh? Yeah. Team Conley brand.
Team Conley, baby. I mean, hey, shout out Arkansas.
Yeah, shout out, man.
No, it was. I thought the broadcast, like I said, I thought Reese Davis is not. I like Reese Davis, but he's not an NBA. Like that, he shouldn't be. There's no point in having hosting that. That doesn't make any sense. Jay Williams is terrible. Jay Billis is fine for what he is. Mike Schmitz is awesome. But yeah, I just thought those guys were very boring, and it was very
Jay Williams is pretty terrible. I ain't gonna lie, man.
Oh, he's terrible. I mean, terrible.
And I know that they can't. I know that they might not be as aware of what's going on as we are on Twitter, of keeping up with Woj and Shams or whatever. But he was talking about the kid from Mississippi State that we took at 40.
Woodard.
Yeah, that's how he was talking about Woodard. Like, the Grizz, I just love what they're doing, man. I mean, like, dude, like, pick up your phone.
He said.
Cut your alerts.
Was
cut your
one of the favorite
notifications on.
He said that when Edward was taken and going to Minnesota, he says he's going to go play in one of the toughest conferences in the NBA. Yeah, I think one of the top two. For sure.
I'm sure he meant divisions, but
one of the toughest two conferences in the league. I mean, definitely, I would definitely think that's a good point. West is it? I mean, oh boy.
Yeah, he clearly meant divisions. So I ain't gonna knock him for that. I knew. I'm
gonna knock him for that because that's stupid. You can't be saying stupid things. That's dumb, ridiculous, absolutely insane.
Man.
I need more Bruce Pearl from the back of a trailer, and I need a lot more of that. That was spectacular. The emotions. That's what.
Did anybody's outfit stand out to you? I missed so much of it. So.
Oh, Tyrese Halliburton and his. Well, we can talk about that when we come back.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw the picture of that.
I will find
Zach, you know what I'm talking about?
Man, Zach is on the phone.
Look at him, and look at his. I believe it was him and his girl, in particular. I think is Or no, not. There's one other guy. Whose girl was the one that? I got to find this, but yeah. But we'll talk about that when we come back.
All right.
There's some meat on that bone too. But Halliburton was the best dressed dude by far.
Peter, hey man, you be showing yourself all the time,
man. We'll come back. We got lots more to get to in hour number 2. Stick around.
Been through the G League developing.
That's right.
Spend your lunch with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 Middays.
Lunchy munchy.
Weekdays from 10 till 1 on Sports 56, 98.5, and 96.1.
Scott Graham from Westwood One with a Thursday Night Football preview sponsored by Prilosec. Treat your frequent heartburn with Prilosec OTC. A big NFC West game coming up from Seattle when the Seahawks host the Cardinals. Arizona at 6-3 claimed a win over the Bills last Sunday with a game-ending Hail Mary touchdown from Kyler Murray to DeAndre Hopkins. Head coach Cliff Kingsbury said afterwards it's Murray's run ability that makes them so tough to defend.
Kyler's one of the most dynamic runners in the NFL. He's not a huge guy, so we got to be smart when we use him. We can't lean on him 30 carries a game, do anything of that nature. But when he gets a chance in open space to carry it, I mean, he's phenomenal.
Russell Wilson and the Seahawks, also 6-3, will be looking to avenge their overtime division loss to the Cards back in Week 7. Ryan Radke and Mike Holmgren will have the action on Thursday Night Football.
Remember to listen to Westwood One's coverage of the NFL all season long. Right here on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Hey, frequent heartburn may keep you from running your A game, but it doesn't have to anymore. Join the Prilosec OTC 2-week challenge. Just go to prilosecotc.com. You'll get $3 off to get you started, plus 14 days of tips, tricks, and reminders. Just 2 weeks, zero heartburn. Go to prilosecotc.com and sign up today. Zero heartburn is possible with Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Taking on that next oil change yourself is a great idea. We can help you get started. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Castrol Edge full synthetic motor oil and an STP extended life oil filter for just $31.99. You can even get it all fast your way with our next day delivery or free same-day store pickup. Getting the job done just got easier. Restrictions and details at AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Hey everybody, it's the best time of the year to come out here to Olive Branch and get that new All-Star Chevy Silverado or Tahoe or one of these perfect new Suburbans. This is the deal. We asked All-Star Chevy to get what everybody wants for the holidays, and guess what? They went out and got them, and the deals are spot on. Seriously, these will go fast, so come out this week if you can. All-Star Chevy has more new Silverados 2020 and 2021. Lots of the new third-row seating Traverses. And you could still get thousands in cash back. If you want pre-owned, Olive Branch is the place to be. Look, All-Star Chevy's certified pre-owned Chevrolets, they have the best selection I've seen anywhere. And remember, it's not Mount Moriah or South Haven, not Collierville or the Pike. It's gotta be Olive Branch, people. And everyone at All-Star Chevy has one job, just one job, to make sure you have more fun, you get the best deal on what you want, and in record time. So find new roads to All-Star Chevy on Kraft Goodman Road in Olive Branch or online at allstarautogroup.com.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
Make your next grill your last grill with the Big Green Egg. You can smoke, bake, roast, sear, or grill. It's amazing. Ceramic will not rust, but will provide the best radiant heat, keeping your food crisp on the outside and juicy on the inside. Just ask Big Green Egg users how great the food is. And it comes with a lifetime guarantee. Make your next grill your last grill by purchasing a Big Green Egg at any of the following stores: Cordova Ace Hardware, Hamilton's Fireplace and Grills, Garden Spas and Pool, Germantown Hardware, and East Memphis Ace Hardware.
I want to do some bragging rights. Hey, I was just the other day overhearing a conversation with Big Mike, the manager of DeSoto Auto Sales. They've got people buying cars all all over the country. North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Arkansas, Texas. People from all over the country buy cars at DeSoto Auto Sales in Olive Branch, Mississippi. Why? DeSoto Auto Sales has the most stringent car inspection in America. They get it right the first time. Quality and low mileage. Factory warranty on most vehicles. My favorite part is the people who work there. Big Mike, all the employees are professional, friendly, and go that extra mile. Expect as you walk in the door, you're treated like family. DeSoto Auto Sales understands your time matters. We can help you find your dream car and get all the paperwork finished in less than an hour. Come see us at DeSoto Auto Sales and be part of our family. Have a great buying experience every time. 662-890-7184.
There's a new commissary in town in Collierville. Germantown Commissary is doubling. Yeah, they're still going to have the old Germantown Commissary by the tracks, but now there's a huge new Germantown Commissary in Collierville at Poplar and Houston Levee Road. It's huge, too. There's a drive-through. There's plenty of parking, no telephone pole to get in your way, a cool patio. It's right by the track, so the tradition continues. And this is a tradition that's been around forever. That commissary is famous for hickory-smoked, slow-cooked Memphis-style barbecue. They've got a private party room at the new one in Collierville. Self-catering still continues. Party packs for $5.95. Basically, the great ribs, the great pulled shoulder, the great deviled eggs. Everything is there in Collierville and Germantown now. So there is now a Germantown and Collierville style of barbecue. It's called Germantown Commissary.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston.
Yes, I will be good, I promise.
Co-hosting Sports 56 Mornings is Anthony Sane.
That's great, man.
Now, back to Peter and Anthony.
Easy lover, she'll get a hold on you, believe it. Like no other, before you know it, you'll be on your knees. She's an easy lover.
Anytime you can get Phil Collins, Philip Bailey, Earth, Wind, and Fire fame, you put them together, you're going to get some magic. Listen right here. Come on now, here we go. Yeah.
Why you ain't singing that, man?
Because I don't want to.
When does that matter? When does that matter?
In my brain, I'm thinking. I don't want to ruin it. It's a beautiful song. I don't want to ruin it. You'll never get it. All right, so speaking of great combinations, Zeke Naji, one of the Nigerians we talked about, the Nigerian family, one of the 8 Nigerian-born or Nigerian-related players who were taken in the first round of the draft. Zeke Naji last night, I don't know if you saw what was going on in his house, but it was something special.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot going on. Oh, yeah, I remember. I had to pull it up. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, Zeke's dad is Nigerian.
Boy,
truly from Nigeria.
Yeah,
and was dressed as in traditional garb.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Shout out.
And his mom is from Minnesota, which is not Nigeria, and she looks like somebody from Minnesota.
Yeah, very Minnesotan.
Significantly white. She is very, very white.
That's his mom.
That's his mom. Yeah.
Okay.
I see what you're thinking, Zach. I know what you would have probably. That's right.
Like,
right
don't get me wrong.
Was that his girlfriend?
I see what you're thinking.
Like, what? No.
You know what Zach's thinking.
I'm just looking like.
So,
okay.
what did we think? She's wearing the kente cloth pattern dress. And that was a
Karen
choice,
cloth.
man.
She's wearing Karen cloth.
That was no. Karen cloth is like just pure white. Just
there's black leggings and UGG boots.
The tights and the whole thing.
Right.
Yeah. How do we feel about this, guys?
Hey.
Are we happy with this? This one caused quite a rift. I love one of my favorite tweet from somebody. It was about 2 minutes after it was over, and somebody I forget who it was, but he tweeted out like, "We're all just waiting for somebody else to post the pic."
Yeah.
Everyone's just waiting for this. Just like that was definitely a choice. What do we think?
Hey, my thing is, man, whatever works for their household, man. I mean, that's an African man married to a white woman, so there, of course, there's going to be a lot of cultural differences there. So it's been working for them for a while. They got three kids out of their marriage, and
Zeke said he's a piano player. He's a piano player. He's a
Pops ain't offended by it. Who am I to be offended by it?
Hey, no, he's obviously Pops is. She went all in. I give her credit. I mean, she went all in.
Hey.
She's like, I'm marrying this Nigerian man.
Right. We talk about
I'm gonna be
match my
Nigerian.
energy. We talk about matching your energy, and a woman who likes the things that you like, and your world is her world. So, hey, who am I to knock him, man? It's weird looking because she.
Yeah, it's
it looks like it's not her first time wearing it. It looks like this is not her first time rocking it.
No, I don't think that was No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Not at all.
They probably have some nice little, married people games they play with the Kente Cloud.
Why?
That's
some role play that I don't know if we can do that.
Because if you're an African man, you can play some cool role play if you're married to a white guy. If you're African, married to a white woman, if you're African, you can do the whole slavery thing. You can do
Whoa.
And we gonna talk
here
about
on Sports 56 WHBQ. We do not.
Do all that, man. You can do whatever works for you, man.
I mean, listen, whatever's in your
whatever work in their house. I ain't gonna tell them how to role play or whatever you're doing. Hey,
in your bedroom or outside your bedroom.
Yeah, but she just looks super comfy in the Kente. It looks
she
looks like one of many Kente garbs she may have at the house, man. So
she may well have it. That's and God bless her for it. If like I said, it works for them, then it works for me. I thought it was pretty funny. Tyrese Halliburton too. Big props to Tyrese Halliburton for a very stylish looking outfit. I mean, you're talking that was outstanding suit game with some cool lining, and then he had a real group of people behind him as well. A real interesting mix of folks. He had it was just a real panoply of racial equality.
Just a cornucopia, yeah.
It was just all manner of shades and colors and such.
Just, he had Candyman up there with him. Dad looking like Candyman. Yeah. I mean, hey, how you find that dude?
Basically, he had you could have gone we bought my kids. They have the new. I don't know if you've seen the Colors of the World set from Crayola, the crayons. You got different shades of color, 32 different shades of color based on how from dark skinned all the way to very light skin. People, and that's what Halliburton's house was. It was a real Colors of the World kind of thing. Just all kinds of different folks. I like that. That's good.
Oh yeah, man.
Let's mix it together. Rainbow Coalition.
Yep.
And all that.
I was about to say something else offensive, but I'm not gonna say it.
You've already done enough damage this segment.
I just know that a certain demographic of people.
You couldn't help yourself.
A certain demographic of people, when they see all these brown people up there, man, it just feels like this threat towards their existence sometimes.
Well,
hey, it's the world we live in.
They probably shouldn't have watched last night.
We're running out of time, Jasper.
Avoid that broadcast.
No, but seriously, man, if you look at the league, a lot of guys in the NBA are biracial. Like
that's true.
If you look at the demographic of guys coming in, there's a lot of biracial players in the league, and that line is being blurred across the world. There's a lot of, Jasper, run out of time, Jasper.
That's right. It's fun. It's fun to see how it works.
Beautiful world.
We'll come back and we'll talk a little squared circle. We're going to talk with our buddy Dustin Starr about what's going on in the wrestling world. Hour number 3 on the way. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, 98.5.
Lowe's Season of Savings event is happening now. Get can't miss deals on gifts for home that bring joy to all. Like a Hisense refrigerator that was $13.99 and now it's just $11.99. And once you've got the style, go for smart with a new Google Nest Mini with Smart Plug, now just $39.99, down from $64.99. Find more deals, gifts, and decor at Lowe's.com. While supplies last, discount taken at time of purchase. See associate for details. Appliances offer valid through 12/2. Smart home offer valid through 11/25 and is not valid when products are purchased separately. U.S. only.
Hey, I heard that you just got a new car.
Yes, I sure did, and I could not believe how simple it was.
Really? Tell me what happened.
I bought my car at Cars Inc. They are family owned, and the choices of cars were the best I've ever seen. They even said they could price match with anyone and help me with whatever financing I needed.
Wow, it does
does sound like they know what they are doing.
Their family has been in the car business for over 30 years, and they're excited about being in Memphis.
Where are they?
5095 Cummington Way, and their phone number is 901-623-7180.
At Jason's Deli, you can stuff yourself full of great deli food that's healthy, fresh, and best of all, it's not expensive. Jason's Deli is all about choice. Whether you're looking for a gluten-free menu, vegetarian sandwiches, healthy kids' meals, or if you'd like to invent your sandwich via the build-your-own selections, Jason's Deli has you covered. And they only use fresh, wholesome ingredients. Choose from the club and specialty sandwiches, paninis, wraps, soups, salads, pastas, and much more. I love the cleanliness in the restaurant, the hospitality, and of course the cost. They have a huge salad bar and great soups, including Southwest chicken chili, fire roasted tortilla, organic vegetable, tomato basil, and many, many more. And if you're planning an event, their catering department is fantastic and can handle any size party. Go check out Jason's Deli's 4 locations. On Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, that's my favorite, on Germantown Parkway in Cordova, at Poplar and Highland, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Chris Price here for Brian Elder Roofing. The storms we've had over the past several months have been devastating to our communities. The rainy season is ahead. You may have not even noticed the dripping in your attic, water stains throughout your home, or even worse, mold and mildew. Please call Brian Elder Roofing and we will send out our project managers to assess any damage. We will not try to sell you a roof if all you need is a repair. We will measure your roof from outer space. 0% for 60 months, even no payments till 2022 are available with approved credit. If you've noticed missing shingles, water stains, leaks in your roof, call us before you call your insurance company at 867-0303. That's 867-0303, and we will provide a free, thorough inspection of your roof's condition.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
All 36-month leases, $31.49 due at signing, 0 security deposit, 10,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, $650 acquisition fee, Forte, LE 242-174, MSRP 20,505, sold, M7755-682, MSRP 20,315, K5, MG 003-199, MSRP 25,725, K900, MSRP 65,610, L60-26,907, L60-21,220, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 695, excludes tax on license with approved credit offer valid through 11/30/2020, dealer stock only, warranty is a limited powertrain warranty, see Kia.com or retailer for details.
It's time for the Kia Holiday Sales Event and time to command the season in your new ride from Gossett Kia South on Mount Moriah. 2020 Kia Forte, just $133 a month lease. 2021 Kia Soul, only $148 a month lease. Plus 2021 Kia K5, only $189 a month lease. And they're all 36 months, $31.49 due at signing. And don't miss the 2020 Kia K900. We got it at $10,000 off MSRP. So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia, 2680 Mount Moriah or KiaMoriah.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
You don't think about a lawyer until something goes wrong. When that happens, let attorney Stephen Leffler fight for you and your family. You don't leave the house in the morning expecting an accident, but it happens every day. A car wreck, you slip and fall, or you get accused of a crime and find yourself fighting for your reputation. Stephen Leffler has been fighting for you for over 35 years. Don't do it alone. Let Stephen Leffler fight your battles for you. Call Stephen Leffler, 901-527-8830, or go to LefflerLaw.com. Here to fight for you and your loved ones.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, W253DF Memphis, and WIVG Tunica Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Sports 56 traffic.
Still working a crash on Lamar Avenue at Davidson Road. Also have a crash on Lamar Avenue at Goodman Road. 2 separate accidents there. Also have a couple of new accidents on the roadways. Accident on Poplar Avenue at Johnson Road, and also accident on Landing Way at Winchester Point Cove. That's Landing Way, Winchester Point Cove. And that's your Sports 56 traffic update.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston.
Yes, I will be good. I promise.
Co-hosting Sports 56 Mornings is Anthony Sane.
That's great, man.
This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Now, back to Peter and Anthony.
I feel so strange every time I speak your name. That's funny. You say that you are so helpless too.
Hour number 3. It's my birthday, so I got the aux.
You've done a great job, dude. It sounds very genuine. Very authentic.
These are all on my playlist. So.
Texter asks, does Anthony approve of the aux? Yes, I do. That was my boy Mac, too. Mac, who I found out is 40 yesterday. I thought Mac was like 25.
Hey.
thought Mac was like 25. He was 40 years old.
There you go.
Shout out.
With you, baby. Woo! Let's go.
Let's get it in.
We're gonna have to do our concert. Saying coming up here pretty soon.
Yeah, man, you got to come in the studio so we can do that.
We'll lay down the tracks. We're gonna make it happen.
We're gonna do
it. Hour number 3 of the program, brought to you by our friends at Acura of Memphis. And go check the 2021 TLX. It is absolutely top of the line, best sedan Acura has ever made. And that is saying something. Go see them at 385 and Ridgeway. Also, big shout out to our friends at FanDuel Sportsbook, who it was a hopefully a lucrative night for you last night. You had plenty of opportunities to bet on various props associated with the NBA draft. I hit a few, missed a few. That's kind of how it goes. But I ended up on the evening, so I'm happy with that. In addition, it just made the whole thing a lot of fun. It's super easy. Download the all-new free app, FanDuel Sportsbook app, and as long as you're in the state of Tennessee, which I would say the majority of our listeners are, you can absolutely gamble perfectly legally and with a lot of fun. And your first bet is absolutely risk-free with the promo code BIGHEAD. That's BIGHEAD. Use that promo code. First bet's risk-free up to $1,000. If you win, you keep the money. If you lose, you get it back in site credit. Has to be used within a week in terms to apply, but it's a really good opportunity for you to make a little extra money and to do it pretty well risk-free. For those of you in Arkansas or Mississippi or even in Missouri, you know what? Just drive into Tennessee. Once you're in state lines, you're good to go, and you can wager legally, no problem. You just have to be in the state of Tennessee, 21 or older, of course. If you have a problem gambling, call 1-800-889-9789. Check out FanDuel Sportsbook today. As we mentioned, it's a big day, beautiful day. Weather's going to be absolutely perfect today, which I'm thankful for. And so we talk a lot of NBA, and we've talked a lot about the Grizzlies, and this guy's going to be in the mix sooner rather than later for all the games. He is the MC for the Memphis Grizzlies, in addition to Redbirds and Memphis 901 FC. And obviously, of course, we know him and love him as a five-star and a master of the squared circle with some big wins over a lot of big-time performers in the process. Ladies and gentlemen, he is our friend, Dustin Starr, who joins us now. Good morning, Five-Star. How are you, bud?
Good morning. Happy Thursday, and happy birthday, Peter.
Woohoo! Thank you, sir.
Woo-hoo.
I appreciate that.
I would sing to you, but the Grizzlies have already warned me, and Grizz has already warned me. No more singing. No more singing.
If anybody's going to sing, I'll listen to Anthony. Anthony can sing. I approve of that. He's that's no problem there. How's the youngster holding up? How's Maria holding up? How's everybody doing?
Everybody is doing good. When we talked this time last week, I think we were just getting ready to leave the hospital. They did have us stay one extra day over, and I was just like, I can't sit still that long,
Right.
So I was kind of jonesing, like, all right, get me out of here. How can we get out of here? I was looking for an escape route, but it was all just precautions and all that kind of stuff. So everything's good. Actually, my Maria's getting all ready right now. Today's a big picture day. The newborn pictures we're having done. That's a really big deal.
That's a big day.
Oh, yeah. So everybody's up and dressed and ready to go.
Well, it's fantastic. Now, did you have a thought on the draft last night? I'm sure you were keeping an eye on things as the Grizzlies made their picks. Did you have any thoughts?
Well, I was just keeping up with the Memphis Tigers. Wiseman, and then Precious. Look, Maria's in the background trying to help correct me on these names. But, yeah, it wasn't as big a year as it was like the last couple of years when we got Jared and we got Ja. You arrive at the building early and you may or may not hear what the pick is going to be, and everybody's kind of tight-lipped, and it's like a party. It's almost like a surprise party, last year when we got Ja. So this year was a little bit different for obvious reasons, but then it's just not as big a deal as it was the last couple of years, I guess. But for the most part, man, we're waiting around seeing what our game ops is going to look like, how many people will be in the building, what they will and won't do. We're still waiting. It's like a moving target, just like everything else, on exactly what the season's going to look like. But from what I hear, December 22nd, I'm fired up about it. Who we got and who we didn't get, whatever. Let's put them on the court, man.
That's exactly it. Now, we've talked about what this means and what all this stuff means for the wrestling biz and the biz that you're in, obviously. And I think you guys have kind of been on the forefront of all this because we've seen the COVID situation worsen significantly in the country over the last few weeks. Locally, it's gotten worse. Nationally, it's gotten worse. And I want to say shout out to you guys because you guys, when you've put your stuff together, it's been very forward thinking with all this, and I think it's that's going to serve you guys well going forward because I think at least in the short term, you're going to have to prove to people that you can do this stuff and still maintain protocols.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and it hasn't been easy for our side either, for our team. Especially out in California, you have so many guys flying in and out. The tests, they have to be done at a certain time, I guess 48 hours before you actually step foot in the building. If you don't have a test, you don't get to go in. If you're booked for a match and you don't have a test, you don't get to go in. You don't get to wrestle. So it's just very, very strict. If, there have been some crew members, from various organizations that our team films that have tested positive. And it's just one of those things that if you catch it beforehand, hopefully you can prevent, some of the spreading like you see in the NFL and some of the other, I guess, big time sports or whatever. But it hasn't been easy for us either, man. We're doing everything that we can to put out new television each and every week. And there's been some speed bumps in the road for sure, just like everybody else. But, it's the right thing to do though.
Well, you have to do it. You have to do it as a certain type of way. Have you noticed? Has it changed your approach to engagement with your fans and that kind of stuff? Has it changed? You're seeing how the YouTube, the streams, the fact that you've had to put some shows together differently. Has it changed the way that you've thought about how wrestling needs to kind of think about fan engagement going forward?
Well, it's made me think about fan engagement for sure, because when we do pre-match parties or post-match parties or even watch parties, like we have one coming up, cheap plug, this Sunday at Dave & Buster's, it's free to watch. Mm-hmm. You hear the word party and you're kind of like, ooh, that's not a good idea right now. But we've had to adjust a lot of the stuff that we do to be less engaging with the fans, and not because we don't want to, but just because in order to do it and do it safely, we have to. So, our watch parties are more like sitting and watching television. You get to watch the pay-per-views for free instead of, there's some hooping and hollering and some cheering and stuff, but not as much as what you used to have, or not as many giveaways or interactive, kind of interactive segments, I guess you would say. That stuff is kind of going away. And then also when you see people out and about, I mean, even if you've known them 10 or 15 years around the loop or whatever, you're not going in for that big hug or that big old handshake or anything anymore. So it's definitely, and the fans know too. The fans know too, and they keep up with, Maria being pregnant and having our child and all that kind of stuff. And like, hey, yeah, I'll stay back. They're very, very respectful. It's nothing like you would think initially when you hear that there's a party or an event or a get together or something. A lot of times it's so spaced out that it's almost misleading, like when we did the Halloween drive-in. When you look out at the audience, you might see 20, 30 people standing around the ring, but there were over 100 cars in the lot. So it kind of looks, I hate to compare it to politics, but it kind of looks like, like a Biden rally where there's a ton of people, but they're all in cars, compared to, a Trump rally where there's thousands of people there, without regard. So it's definitely a different, it's definitely a different world out there, especially, when it comes to interacting with fans and people. I mean, you're still working from the house, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. A lot of folks are. And are you trying to do best you can. Kids have had to, some kids that were obviously Shelby County is still in virtual school, and some kids that were in virtual school, like Collierville, they had to go do back to virtual. It's been everyone's kind of playing it by ear with all the stuff that's going on. One other discussion that I've seen, kind of spinning around, and it's one that I think is important for not just for wrestling, but also for like combat sports, mixed martial arts, boxing, those things. And I wanted to see your thoughts on it as somebody now, who's been on both ends of this thing. You are still very much a talent and a performer, but you're also, booking shows and putting together stuff, on the promoter side too. What do you think about the idea of wrestlers as independent contractors kind of getting challenged of late? There's some push now for wrestlers to either unionize or to push the WWE in particular to quit being able to designate their performers as independent contractors when they can tell them, you can sign under contract, you can't do this, you can't do that. If you're an independent contractor, technically you're not really supposed to have any kind of a limitation on the things you can and can't do, but they do. And that's helped them to avoid a lot of, taxes, insurance, stuff that normally employers have to be responsible for. They haven't really been responsible for that in wrestling. Do you think this goes through, and is it something that needs to happen?
If, I kind of have like you said, just a different perspective on that. I listened to Eric Bischoff's podcast just this week where he goes in detail about the pros and cons. There are some, on the other side of that, of course, if you're an independent contractor, you're supposed to be able to kind of do whatever you want, say whatever you want within reason and take on other bookings. If you were a legitimate independent contractor under the contract with WWE, you should be able to go to work anywhere else that you want as being a subcontractor, correct?
Yeah.
Literally. That's the whole thing. But forever it's been to where they have you exclusive regardless. So I see both sides of it. But then also you have to take into consideration that if WWE does make those changes and they do take on a lot of the costs and all the different things that would come along with the unionization, which I don't know 100% of it, but I do know that it would affect money, it would affect contracts. The guys and gals may or may not make more money, just depending. Because I'm going to tell you right now, Vince is not going to make less just to give the wrestlers more. So if there is a union that comes along, they will structure it to where they will make even more profit or the same profit as what they had previously. Mm-hmm. And that might not, maybe the only way to do that is taking some money out of the wrestlers' pockets. You see what I mean there? So it's kind of a double-edged sword. But yeah, man, when I was there, they made us wear, a suit and tie when we went on the airplane. I heard Eric Bischoff talking about the same thing. If I'm an independent contractor, how can you tell me what to wear when I get on an airplane or where I can and can't work? There was a big
you can't take a booking. You can't take a booking somewhere else because you're, technically, quote unquote under contract, but you're really not in the same way. And I get that point too. I mean, I think you have to take into account it's in the short term, especially it could be problematic for a lot of guys that are making seven figures. They might not make nearly as much. Some of the guys that are on certain guaranteed dates might not get those guaranteed dates. There might be a certain change. But I think long term, though, is what I'm talking about, Dustin. And the same thing with UFC. The fact that one body controls so much of the industry, and that body is going to make their money and they're going to do what they're going to do. And all that's ultimately a negative for the workers long term because it really limits the amount of growth that other companies can have in the space. It limits the amount of new people that can enter into it. It limits, for example, guys that have had significant injuries in the ring. It's very hard for them to hold the WWE to a certain standard. When it comes to potentially workman's comp or even issues like a pension or like insurance or healthcare, things of that nature, it's traditionally been very difficult. And there's been a lot of wrestlers, and I'm remembering this because of Tracy Smothers we just lost, who has had a very long and storied career working for WWF and WCW, and was really struggling because of his cancer diagnosis and because of the fight that he had. And we see that with a lot of guys towards the end, man. And I feel like we've got to do a better job of putting a system together to take care of those guys, and I think this would help in that regard.
If it was ever going to happen, it is going to happen right now. It would happen very, very soon. They just released Zelina Vega, who was one of their top female performers. That you could really see that they were pushing her as a top manager. Then had her in the ring. She was in the Rock movie. She's very highly acclaimed. They just let her go. She tweeted something positive out about unionization, and I think within hours they had released her from her contract. So WWE is like that, man. They and I hate to say they're not going to go down without a fight because it's not something that they should necessarily fight about. They should take care of those guys, and they do take care of certain. I don't know if it's certain guys or certain situations, but you hear all these stories about Vince, paying for a guy's surgery or paying for everyone to go through rehab that needs it. So they do certain things, but there does need to be something in place. And if there ever was going to happen, that it was going to happen right now. And it kind of makes you wonder if this has come back to the forefront, because you'll hear about it really loud and then all of a sudden it will soften up. But maybe it was this third-party platform type of stuff that's kind of really set them over the edge. Because I look at it like if I'm under contract and I bring a Twitch audience with me that I'm getting paid extra for, I can see why WWE would want to filter that through. But then also I feel like that should be in addition to my downside guarantee instead of counting as part of it. Now I see both ways. I see both sides. But I also look at it like the wrestlers, no matter how much money they're making, if they're under exclusive contract, which is subcontractor contract, easy for me to say, they're always still looking for another raise. What else can I do? Can I sell merch? Can I stream on Twitch or YouTube? So it's fair for those guys and gals to want to make extra money, and it's not really so fair for WWE to kind of take the creation that performer took. So I guess what I'm saying is a lot of this Twitch and this extra third-party revenue stuff, I think, has brought on more talk about the unionization. And I don't know when it'll all come to a head, but it'll be a real big deal because for years and years and years, the guys have talked about it and have never been able to get that done.
When you look at the way that wrestling used to be, Dustin, you could always gauge how a guy's doing as far as fan response in the crowd by live audiences, things like that. We don't have those things now. So how do you think that? Because you look at things and we say, okay, yeah, man, this tribal chief gimmick with Roman Reigns, this is good, like this works. Or you even look at the situation like with Randy Orton and what's the guy's name who's the champion now? Like they just took the belt off of Orton to put it back on him.
Drew
McIntyre.
And you say, well, you think that people want to see Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns instead of, the alternative. So, but it's like, how do you know that? Like, how does the WWE really gauge what's hot and what's not right now?
That's a great question, man. WWE on the inside, I can imagine, has a ton of analytics that you or I would probably never know the full extent of the detail. But I would imagine that social scores, I imagine that ratings probably do still, sit in the back of their minds, even though I feel like, not that ratings don't matter, but ratings and social scores and YouTube and just all sorts of stuff. Even if you don't watch Monday Night Raw, you can literally follow them on Twitter and see everything that's going on. That's just how kind of fluid they are. But I don't know, man. Maybe it's merchandise sales. Maybe it's social scores, but that's a really good point, man. It's really hard to make new superstars. And my buddy Eric on the Grind City Wrestling podcast was mentioning this last week. Have they done a good job at building that next star? Because it used to be, hey, I'm going to see Stone Cold. You would go to see a particular wrestler. I'm going to see DX or I'm going to see the NWO. Who is it that you're going to see now? Is it the WWE as a whole, kind of like Disney, or do they have a superstar like hey, I'm going to see The Rock tonight. That's why I'm going to Raw to see The Rock. Have they made that bona fide superstar that people will show up to see no matter what? I don't know that they have in a while.
So do you think that do you think that they are do you think that's necessarily a bad thing that they don't have a superstar? Because me personally, I think creating that product that's full of guys prevents you from having to have 60-year-old John Cena come back. You know what I mean? Yeah, because you're running out of guys. You're running out of guys to bring back for last time runs. So I think the way that they're presenting it now might be in their favor.
It is, but you would like to think that one of those superstars would really catch fire and get on some sort of Hollywood radar, like The Rock did, or like Cena did. Cena's done very, very well in Hollywood, and you see him on national television commercials and stuff. Like, he's a big deal. But I don't know. I'm trying to think. The Miz has done very, very well on the USA Network, but as far as like a bona fide, if you book him on WrestleMania or if you book him on a show, he is going to sell out for you. I don't know if that guy is there right now.
Mm-hmm.
Peter?
I don't either.
Can you think of anybody?
I don't know. I think it's been a big issue for a long time. And
I know Brock. They'll bring Brock out. I know a lot of people. Only 7% of the population is on Twitter. So when Brock comes back and Twitter hates him, that doesn't mean anything in the WWE's eyes. Like, Brock is such an attraction. He will sell tickets. He will sell pay-per-views just because people want to see him get beat. But I would think that like a Brock Lesnar might be the closest thing that they have. Of course, they always have The Rock kind of in their back pocket, but that's not something that they could just, hey, this week on Raw, The Rock's going to be here. So we were kind of talking about that last week, is who is that big star that they can just pull out of their back pocket and have a sellout house like an Austin or something? I don't know if they have that.
I don't think we can talk more about it next week. So we got to run, but I think for the biggest thing is that they're just off they're not in sync with what's culturally cool. I don't know what else to say. Like, I don't think they're as cool as they used to be. The gimmicks are not what they were. I mean, they continue to be a problem. And like when you've got like Sasha Banks on The Mandalorian, and you've got it was, and apparently the producers didn't see her on WWE. They saw her on a YouTube interview that she did, and so they didn't even see her in wrestling. But they saw her, and like that's what I mean. Like, they've got this culturally relevant situation here, but it's not even them doing it. It's just I think they're just they're way off the beaten path. We'll have to talk about that next week. Dustin, appreciate it, buddy. We're gonna be watching this Saturday. Hope those pictures turn out well, my friend.
Oh, yeah, they will. We've got a very, very good photographer. Maria she wouldn't have it any other way. This Saturday, we've got our United TV title rematch where Levi Shapiro defends against Dan Joseph. It's going to be really, really good stuff. Plus a big 4-way elimination tag team match. We got some really good wrestling coming up. And just to leave you with something real quick off of what we just talked about. What if R-Truth was not a comedy character? What if he was just a cool dude, just badass that came out rapping, beat people up, and just kicked butt and took names? What if they did not make him a comical character? He might be somebody that can draw big money for you.
It's another C word you could use for.
Well.
What? I missed that.
I'll tell you about it out there.
Yeah,
All right.
We'll talk about that. Hey, Dustin, thanks, man. Good luck, and we'll talk to you next week. Well, I guess probably 2 weeks. Thank you, guys. Thanksgiving's next week. Have a good Thanksgiving too, buddy.
Okay, you too, guys.
All right, brother. Take it easy.
Dustin Starr joining us. We've got lots more to get to here in hour number 3, rather. Stick around. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, 98.5.
Listen online anywhere, anytime at sports56whbq.com.
The Black Friday sales event is on at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on Covington Pike, and we're going to blow you away with what you save. 2020 Jeep Renegade Latitude 4-wheel drive IIHS top safety pick. We Gossett at $20,736 or $259 a month. Or power up your game in a 2020 Dodge Charger, $24,320 or $299 a month. And get rammed up in a 2020 Ram 1500 Tradesman Crew Cab 4x2, $29,656 or $396 a month. And 2020 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo 4x2, $29,878 or $398 a month. Drive past the rest. Come to the best. Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat 1901 Covington Pike. Online, GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All must finance through Chrysler. 3,500 cash down. 75 months at 4.11 APR. Renegade LPM 02132. MSRP 26,580. Charger LH 167,053. MSRP 31,490. Tradesman LG 293,29. MSRP 37,855. Cherokee LC 403,192. MSRP 35,495. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 11/30/2020 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
I'm not going very far.
It's too uncomfortable.
I'm in a hurry. Sometimes I just forget.
There's no such thing as a good excuse for not buckling up. You're not only putting yourself at risk of injury or death, it could also cost you lots of money. Cops are writing tickets, so why take the risk? Do the smart thing and start buckling up every trip, day or night. Click it or ticket. Paid for by NHTSA.
Water damage to your home or business can be an absolute nightmare. And the faster you remove the standing water, the faster you can prevent secondary damage. Landmark Construction and Emergency Services specializes in water extraction. They have been a trusted name in the Mid-South for over 20 years. They are a Memphis-based company ready to serve your needs with their 24-hour emergency response. They are always on call and will respond within an hour. They work with most insurance companies and are the official restoration contractor of the Memphis Tigers home team. Landmark Construction and Emergency Services can't prevent disasters in your home and at your business, but their water damage team will certainly respond quickly to minimize and restore the damage. Call 901-452-0390. That's 901-452-0390 or online at landmarkco.org.
How would you like the chance to win a truckload of DeWalt tools, plus the truck they came in? Yeah, we thought so. Don't miss Lowe's Provember event. Now through November 25th, you could win a set of 18 DeWalt tools worth over $3,000. And the truck? A 2021 Chevy Silverado. Enter for your chance to win at lowesforpros.com/Provember. Lowe's, the new home for pros. No purchase necessary. Starts 10/28, ends 11/25. LFP membership required. U.S. only. Entry rules on lowesforpros.com/Provember.
I want to do some bragging rights. Hey, I was just the other day overhearing a conversation with Big Mike, the manager of DeSoto Auto Sales. They've got people buying cars all over the country. North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Arkansas, Texas. People from all over the country buy cars at DeSoto Auto Sales in Olive Branch, Mississippi. Why? DeSoto Auto Sales has the most stringent car inspection in America. They get it right the first time. Quality and low mileage, factory warranty on most vehicles. My favorite part is the people who work there. Big Mike, all the employees are professional, friendly, and go that extra mile. Expect as you walk in the door, you're treated like family. DeSoto Auto Sales understands your time matters. We can help you find your dream car and get all the paperwork finished in less than an hour. Come see us at DeSoto Auto Sales and be part of our family. Have a great buying experience every time. 662-890-7184.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston.
Yes, I will be good, I promise.
Co-hosting Sports 56 Mornings is Anthony Sane.
That's great, man.
This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Now, back to Peter and Anthony.
Back with you. Hour number 3, presented by Acura of Memphis. I got the aux today because it's my birthday. Woo!
Yes, sir.
1 week away from Thanksgiving as well, so a lot to be thankful for today, at least for me. And I think for everybody out there, as we've talked a lot about the NBA draft and what is happening here. Kudos to the Grizzlies for I think what is a very strong draft. Also got to I got to give a shout out here to Sean Coleman.
Yep.
From Grizzly Bear Blues.
Yep.
Good guy. I look back at his a piece he wrote back in 3 weeks ago, October 29th. He says if the Grizzlies use the same criteria that helped them identify Clark, Melton, and Conchar as valuable additions to their roster, a few options become more obvious than others as likely targets based off how they compare to this trio of Grizzlies. They are Xavier Tillman, Desmond Bane, and Killian Tilly. The man called all three 3 weeks ago.
You're right.
That's incredible.
We know a lot of guys on Twitter were like, "Come on, Grizzlies! Like we know what you're doing. You're just going down the Grizz Twitter big board and just going down."
Man, I mean, I'm telling you, man, that is strong. Shout out.
Yeah, he
Sean
picked all
Coleman.
three of them. Like, yeah, he literally picked all three.
all three. That's a. I mean, yeah. and he didn't couch it, like I was like, hey, look at me, I'm a like.
No, it couldn't have been me that did that. The whole world would have known.
I'm like, I know it's
y'all would have known if I had to pick those three. Speaking of that, man, I sent you a text this morning. I'm waiting for you to respond to as well. I need an answer to that question, Peter. Check your texts. Check your text. I'm sorry.
I will. I'll check, but I will tell you. I'm going to warn you. Between my computer crashing and everything else, it may be a minute before I can.
I got you.
Because I've been trying to fix this. It's one of those mornings. But yes, I will get back to you. I suspect I know what you're texting me about.
Yes, sir.
And I will get back.
Mm-hmm.
I will get back to you as soon as I can.
Sounds good.
So anyway, but I want to shout out Sean because that's phenomenal. Phenomenal. Give him credit where credit is due. You called it 3 weeks ago. That's a huge bump.
Yeah, he called it
to Sean.
For sure.
I can't believe that. So anyway, shout out to him. And with those three plus the two other one other two-way guy, Sean McDermott, not the Bills coach, but a player from Butler, and the kid Jaleel Tripp from Pacific, who's going to be probably more of a hustle guy. A very productive night for the Grizzlies, and we've talked about it, but folks maybe just joining us who didn't hear. What were your overall? Are you thrilled, super thrilled, ecstatic? What's your emotional?
We're still talking draft, right?
Yeah.
Zach, cue that up for me. You got that music queued up for me. Oh yeah, I got some thoughts, man. You didn't even know this one was coming, Peter.
I didn't know this one. Was coming.
It's just everything playing, man. It's just a good feeling, man, when you have to endure with bums like Chris Wallace and guys who we thought were smart, like your guys, the John Hollingers of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Just to have a smart front office, man, who came in, like the song suggests, man, like thieves, man, like just tootsie slide on Boston and just took Desmond Bain from him for 2 second-round draft picks. But just it was literally with the black mask on, man, and the leather gloves. Just came in and just took something from him. It's just a good feeling, man, to finally get that shooter to sit back and hear people talk about the Rodney Hoods of the world and all these guys that they thought were the answers, and can't think of the other dude's name that his dad's the coach of Georgia State. That RJ Hunter.
He's with Tulane now.
Yeah, y'all talked about RJ Hunter like he's all these guys that we supposedly missed out on. The Grizzlies went out and got a real shooter, man. He's got some size, who could be a shooting guard. They went out and got a big man that can cover some of Jaren's weaknesses. If you have him and Jaren on the court together, a guy that can get rebounds. We haven't even talked about that. Rebounding is one of the Grizzlies' biggest weaknesses, man. We got a guy that's an NBA level, top tier rebounder, kind of pushing that Millsap mind a little bit as far as the things he can do on the court. Then you just get some white dudes that can shoot, man. I mean, and how can you? I mean, it's a simple formula, man. Just you look at Miami, man. You go get Duncan Robinson, you go get Tyler Hero. Just go find some dudes, the white guys that were in college that can shoot. Just put them in the G League. Put them on two ways. It's a simple formula, man. It just feels good to see competency with the Memphis Grizzlies organization. I can go on Facebook and defend our front office to weirdos who are still talking about, man, these folks, they might do anything. No. This ain't them. Man, them folks. Bro, man, why they ain't
all your voices, that's my favorite voice.
Man, bro, why they ain't go get Jeremiah Martin, man? Bro, no. No.
Who was my man for the Tigers? That was supposedly the shooter, Donnell Mack.
The biggest
Mack still out there.
In the world.
the most non-shooting shooter ever. Everyone said, "Man, this kid can shoot. This kid, and it's just jacked up, weird rotation. All
it just feels
terrible.
good. It's just like I'm serious, man. It literally feels good to wake up on a draft day and I can look at every pick and be like, man, these dudes really know what they're doing. Like to see people on Twitter like praising the Grizzlies organization, talking about GOAT front office and super smart, and the Thunder are gaining picks, but the Grizzlies are actually building a team. Guys, they're They're building for the future with on-the-job training, and not just picks. You know what I mean? It is, it's a good feeling to wake up and see that, man. Like, you got a guy who people are buzzing about. Oh, man, we got a shooter.
I know. It's dangerously
really
competent.
And just
dangerously competent. I mean, just doing it.
He slided on Boston, man. He just came in with the black leather glove, no sequins, bro, with the mask on, man. It just took arguably the best shooter in college basketball. He just came and took him. Boston probably needed that dude, man.
Well, they had already picked Aaron Nesmith from Vanderbilt, who they thought, you know, he's an extremely good shooter too. So
yeah.
This is exactly what we talked about, though, and I'm glad that you brought it up because it's exactly the danger of taking the Sam Presti and David Griffin approach of getting 3,000 picks. That's wonderful in theory, but when the time comes, if you haven't used them, Boston's sitting there. They got a roster full of young guys. They don't need to take 4 or 5 rookies on top of whatever else they got. They can't do it. They can only do so much. They've got to stash guys and overseas. They got to do whatever. Like, it just doesn't work. Mm-hmm. And so that gave Kleiman and the Grizzlies some nice leverage to come in at 30 and say, hey man, you guys can't use this pick anyway. We'll give you a couple seconds, down the line when you guys have fewer picks. And we'll come in and we'll take this pick. And Boston really didn't have a lot of leverage to speak of because, they really didn't want to take that pick. Whoever it was, even if they really loved the player, they didn't have room for him on their roster. Like, they couldn't do it. So when you have all those picks, it all sounds good, but sometimes you end up backing yourself into a corner and losing your leverage if you don't take those picks, and you've just got a roster full of people, and everyone around the league can look at your roster and say, well, you don't want to take that pick because you don't have any place to put the person anyway. So I thought it was just a very opportunistic move from the Grizzlies to go up and get, knowing that they kind of had Boston in a little bit of a situation there.
Yeah, I like the move, man. Just another smart move, like you said. Boston had their guy. The Grizzlies, trade those 2 future second-round picks. Just a smart move, man. It's just a smart move. They have a plan, and then, like we talked about earlier, they took advantage of the fact that with the two-way rules changing, having guys on a two-way contract is almost like having just free roster spots on your roster at this point, where you can add guys. So, just man, I love it. I think the future is extremely bright. I just wish people would be patient, understanding, and see, just see that there's something good about to come from this organization.
Oh, no doubt, and I think, and I think also, like, they're not finished. They're not finished with this roster at all.
Right. Oh no, not at all. Oh no, not.
And that's
not at all.
And to me, that's the most exciting part about this, because coming out of this draft, you got two great prospects, like from off of good deals, and then you went and got Tilly. You went and signed like a couple another shooter and a guy that you're gonna plug into the hustle roster, and then you kind of just throw in. And then you just kind of throw in the fact that free agency is in a couple of days, and they're still got to make a couple more roster moves to kind of, make this roster work. Like, that part is the exciting part to me. It's just to see what else can they do with this team.
I think you're right about that. The other question is going to be, what do they do with the brand new signing this morning from the Memphis Zoo, Ja Raff? Who was a young giraffe, the young baby giraffe who was born, whose name is Ja Raff, in honor of Ja Morant in his rookie season. Ja Raff, scouting report, extremely long neck span, really hungry for action. Not a lot of mobility, unfortunately. Absolutely zero wingspan. At all, but tremendous hustle and heart for the game. So we like the possibilities going forward. Ja Raff.
You know what I'm about to say, right? That's borderline terrible. Like, yeah, Ja Raff is pretty bad.
Why is that pretty bad?
Just pretty bad.
Well, what would you rather see?
I would have just call him Ja.
Come on, man. Ja Raff is delightfully terrible. It's wonderful.
Ja Raff.
It's fantastic. I love it.
Oh,
that's dad joke. That's dad joke humor.
Yeah,
right
I know.
Brandon Shark. Where's Brandon Shark? I want to see Brandon Shark. Where's Kyle Panderson? Come on, man. Come on, let's come on, man. If we're gonna do this, let's do this right. Let's do this right. Yeah. So congratulations to the Memphis Zoo for what I think is a top level joke.
Yeah. That's Dylan's.
I fully appreciate.
That's Dylan's rookie there. So.
Dylan's rookie is Ja Raff.
Yes.
So is he going to be on the 24-hour surveillance? Can I look on zoo.com?
Right, yes. Right now, if you go to the Zoo's Twitter feed, they're showing Ja Raff as we speak on with his mom.
Really? Like you're not talking about the pictures, right?
I'm literally looking at it right now.
Chill out, man. Let me go.
Seriously, right now, go to the Memphis Zoo's Twitter feed. It's live. 9 people are watching, and I'm one of them.
Oh man, it's going to be 10 soon. Give me a second.
Yep. So you just see
look like a good giraffe to me. Hold on. Hey, I was at the zoo last week. I saw Ja Raff before he was.
My understanding is that his dad is one of his first hater though. He's been yelling at that giraffe. Your spots suck. Look at your little ears.
Step your spot game.
Nothing. Look at that. He's got him going through tires.
And this baby is like a newborn, right?
Yeah.
Man, I saw this baby like in his mom's stomach the other day, man. Like I was at the zoo last weekend.
Well, that's beautiful, man.
Man, ain't there some baby Ja Raff before?
Baby Ja Raff.
I think we just sent him some viewers, man. Went from 9 to 29. I think we just blew him up just then.
I think we did, and I appreciate that. It's fantastic. We'll.
Can I comment? Can I comment and say Sports 56 brought me here?
Sure. Please do. We got one more segment to go. We'll keep you updated on what's happening with Ja Raff. Penny Hardaway is speaking to the media, and we'll have an update on what Penny has to say.
Penny.
After this, Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, 98.5.
Same great shows.
We welcome you back to Sports 56 Middays.
What's up? It's Sports 56 Happy Hour.
A new spot on the FM dial. Check out Sports 56 on our new FM home at 98.5.
Brian Smith, we love the one and only Lexus dealership in Memphis.
Thanks, Stats. The fall months are always the best time to shop for both new and pre-owned cars. We're right in the middle of model year end change. The 2020s have got to go to make room for the new 2021 models, and we continue to trade for the best pre-owned cars in the city, all makes and models.
Service is one of y'all's hallmarks.
Our award-winning service department is adhering to all socially distanced safety precautions.
You can experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com.
Swing into Edwin Watts Golf Shops this holiday season for the hottest gifts from Bushnell Golf. Featuring the Tour V5 and Tour V5 Shift rangefinders, featuring Pin Seeker with visual, jolt, and bike magnetic cart mount. And featuring this season's #1 gift from Bushnell, the Wingman, the world's first Bluetooth speaker with audible GPS distances. Come into Edwin Watts Golf Shops and get your Bushnell today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, your holiday headquarters since 1968, and shop online at worldwidegolfshops.com.
You don't think about a lawyer until something goes wrong. When that happens, let attorney Stephen Leffler fight for you and your family. You don't leave the house in the morning expecting an accident, but it happens every day. A car wreck, you slip and fall, or you get accused of a crime and find yourself fighting for your reputation. Stephen Leffler has been fighting for you for over 35 years. Don't do it alone. Let Stephen Leffler fight your battles for you. Call Stephen Leffler, 901-527-8830, or go to LefflerLaw.com. Here to fight for you and your loved ones.
Attention foodies, there's a great new place to eat in a great restored building. South Hall Cafe is now open for breakfast, brunch, and lunch in the former Tobacco Corner. Chef Jesus Ramon is creating classics from scratch with a twist. Enjoy all your favorites, including the best cheese grits in the South, a full bar, an in-house pastry chef, catering, online ordering for curbside or delivery, and a covered patio with live music on the weekends. We're open 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. weekdays and 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. on weekends. South Hall Cafe, corner of Poplar and Mendenhall.
Looking for a new ride to celebrate the end of 2020? We Gossett at Gossett Kia's holiday sales event. Command the season and you'll find what you want, need, and love at Gossett Kia on Covington Pike. 2020 Kia Forte $133 a month lease. 2021 Kia Soul $148 a month lease. Plus 2021 Kia K5 $189 per month lease. All 36 months, $3149 due at signing. And don't miss 2020 Kia K900. We Gossett at $10,000 off MSRP. You want it? We Gossett at Gossett Kia 1900 Covington Pike, or shop 24/7 KiaCovingtonPike.com. Ask for Bobby J. He'll put you in a new Kia today.
All 36 month leases, $3149 due at signing, 0 security deposit, 10,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, $650 acquisition fee, Forte, LE 242,174, MSRP 20,505, Soul, M7755, 682, MSRP 20,315, K5, MG 003,199, MSRP 25,725, K900, MSRP 65,610, L60 26,907, L60 21,220, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 695, excludes tax title and license with approved credit offer valid through 11/30/2020, dealer stock only, warranty is a limited powertrain warranty, see Kia.com or retailer for details.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston.
Yes, I will be good, I promise.
Co-hosting Sports 56 Mornings is Anthony Sane.
That's great, man.
This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Now, back to Peter and Anthony.
Now, we're back. I got the aux today. I'm giving Zach a warning on this one. We have to cut this one off a little early. There's no clean version of this one. but if we cut it off early, one of the great unappreciated albums of the late '90s, Koopsta's album. I gotta be careful with that. I gotta be very careful here.
He's a New York Knicks fan. I think that's what it is.
Yes, that's exactly right. His solo album, though, awesome. That's right out of the gate. Becomes fantastic. All right, so as we wrap up this edition of the show, coming up next, middays with Greg and Eli, they've got Coach Ryan Silverfield on to talk about the matchup with Stephen F. Austin. They get the AutoZone Liberty Bowl football hour with Harold Grader, and I know there's plenty to discuss there. And obviously they're going to be talking a lot about they've got Cody Toppert on to talk Tiger basketball, and Precious Achiuwa and James Wiseman. Wiseman going to the Warriors, Precious Achiuwa going to the Miami Heat. I think it's an absolutely perfect fit for him. We talked about that. Yeah. I mean, like you talk about guys getting drafted, man. I hate that it took that long for Precious to come off the board, but that is a perfect spot for him. The way they're going to make him work and they're going to maximize his skills, and I think it's
because he ain't got no meow in him. He ain't got no meow in him.
Be a dog. Be a dog. No meow, meow, meow. Be a dog.
Yep.
Be a dog.
Got Baby Bam out of Bio, and
that's exactly right.
Yep.
Now, as far as the new Tiger update, Penny Hardaway speaking here in a press conference right now going on simultaneously says that his quote is, "We're still in South Dakota as we speak." I don't think he means literally into South Dakota as we speak, but they're still planning on going to South Dakota. I'm just going to tell you, I'm just not sure that's going to happen. I just think at the end of the day that's just not going to happen. Isaiah Stokes has been suspended for the season. He will not be with the team this year.
You want to know why?
So that is sure.
I'll tell you out there.
So that's the Sane special right there, man. That's the Sane special. Moussa Cisse, his situation is, quote, still standing there. But they are confident that he will be on the first road trip. And DeAndre Williams, they're still waiting for Evansville to get everything done. Apparently Evansville not really expediting things, it would appear.
It's unacceptable, man. It is. Like, it's crazy. Like, that's – come on, man.
Do the kid, do right by the kid, man. Just don't. This is ridiculous to just sit there and drag your feet because you're upset about how the whole thing played out. That's ridiculous. I hate that.
But we talk about what LeVar Ball's doing. He just got his second son in the NBA, but you got college coaches that are like playing with this man's future.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, come on, man.
Yep.
Whew, almost went there. Let me back out.
Yeah.
Step away from it.
It's absolutely ridiculous. On top of that, now as you see today and then tomorrow, we're going to go into free agency is coming up. It begins tomorrow.
Oh man, just give me a day off.
5:00 tomorrow. So it's the real deal, man. This thing is happening very, very quickly. Also quickly, more COVID issues. Maryland coach Mike Loxley is COVID positive. Michigan State and Maryland is canceled over COVID as well. So another cancellation there. I think we're up to 15 again this week in college football. Same thing as last week. So it's
hard times.
It's tough. Hard times, daddy. COVID.
What did I teach you guys out on the field, man?
Be a dog.
Action, man.
Oh, yeah.
Action, man. Action.
Oh.
Man, action.
Oh, yeah. The Grizzlies won this draft on Tuesday.
I got fired on Tuesday. Oh, be a dog. The new Memphis Grizzlies, I got one bit of advice for you. Be a dog.
Well, no meows down around here.
Meow. Be a dog.
Be a dog.
Grizzlies strength and conditioning coach Sam Pittman there. Big thank you to, again, thank you so much for the, just huge amounts of cards and letters coming in for happy birthday greetings and stuff. I just, I hate that I can't thank you all personally, but I just do appreciate it so much. It's fantastic. I can't even say that with a straight face. I'm sorry. Coming up next, it is Middays. Everybody, have a great Thursday.